ready for some football. I don't know about you. Who else could it be but your man Lou? Yeah.
The LouieTeeNetwork is powered by MusicHead University. MusicHeads, classes in session. Turn me up. Enroll on YouTube now. Link is in the description.
Who else could it be? Me, your man, Louie T, here on Sunday Night Football Overtime. Seahawks, Commanders, this is a pretty sobering feeling, I must say. My fandom right now is numb. Like, I'm numb on the inside. I couldn't feel my legs for about a good 2 minutes. I'm almost speechless at what transpired tonight. I don't even know where to begin. I'm just going to start. When you get your ass whooped the way that we did tonight, and then you put the proverbial cherry on top with the Jayden injury, we try. It feels like we did a complete 360. Last year it was a 180. We were so excited. Adam Peters and DQ, they pressed all the right buttons. They brought in this great coaching staff. Look at what they've done in just a short 6 months, a short 9 months, a short year's time. Look at what they've done. We were ready to crown everybody. We were ready to build statues last year. And in just another short 6 months, 9 months, we're ready to tear it all down. And whether you're preaching patience right now, or you've got out your pitchfork and your torch and you want somebody's head and you want to burn this whole shit down, you're both right. You're both right. What I witnessed today was full of emotions for me. I was texting back and forth with the Kings. It was mainly me and Rio texting back and forth, watching the games earlier today, 1 o'clock. And I was telling Rio, like, man, I love playing on prime time because of this one facet. I hate the results we get from primetime. I've actually put in a petition for us to not be on primetime television for the next 3 years. But I love the ability to just watch football freely. And one of the things that I've learned in watching football freely is that it's a gift and a curse. It is one of the most enjoyable experiences to just sit on a Sunday and just watch football, but it is also very depressing. Today's action was exhilarating. The games were great. They were close, hyper competitive. And what I saw today made me depressed about our football team before the game even started. I'm telling Rio, and he's talking back to me, and we're seeing the same shit. Are you watching all of these defenses play tonight? I mean, play during the day? Like, this is like Carolina. You watching Carolina's defense right now? You see what they're out here doing? You see Pittsburgh's defense force 5 turnovers? You see this shit? You know, watching all of these teams play like these competitive ass games when they're doing all this shit. I'm watching these athletic tight ends, and I'm watching these disruptive edge rushers, and I'm watching these dynamic safeties, and I'm watching all of these different position groups shine, and I'm like, we don't have anything that looks even remotely close to any of this shit. The only thing we've got is Jayden Daniels. That's it. It's humbling when you look around and you say, our shit don't look like Denver. Our shit don't look like Houston. I'm seeing Colston Loveland catch a pass, take a hit, and run for a touchdown. You think Zach Ertz is even getting 5 yards after that hit? Hell, he might get hit, fall down, take him 30 seconds to get up off the damn turf. I'm watching Dalton Schultz catch a pass and haul ass for about a gain of 45. And I'm watching all this shit and I'm saying, man, it must be nice. It must be nice. But hey, you got what you got, right? Can't change it. It is what it is. Let's see if we can't make something shake with what we got. And then to bring it full circle, I show up and I'm excited. The hopium is flowing through my veins. And DQ flips the script on me tonight. And this is going to be a big deal. I don't give a shit about this now. I don't care about this game. Like, the performance tonight was pathetic. Now, this is what happens when you get your ass whooped on a scale of this magnitude, and you have the season that you're currently having, and then your quarterback gets injured. Even if you remove the Jayden injury from tonight's game and you just isolate the performance itself, you opened up Pandora's box tonight. Because the one thing I had always told you about Dan Quinn and his group is that they were always competitive, no matter what. We may not have always loved the outcome. We always saw a hyper-competitive team. We didn't see that against Dallas 2 weeks ago. We saw the fight last week, but it was fledgling and it didn't last for 4 quarters, only a half. And then you came out here and you gave up the ass in the first half to Sam Darnold and the Seattle Seahawks. You never gave yourself a chance. Never. And to look, and after watching the football that I watched today, for us to come out on the field and on the first snap of the game, I see Chris Moore coming in motion, or it might have been the second or third play. I see Chris Moore coming in motion, and I see Treylon Burks split out wide. What world am I living in when my star quarterback is surrounded by this bullshit? Who is he supposed to be able to beat with this supporting cast? Not to mention, they took Luke McCaffrey from him on the first play of the game, the opening kickoff. He's done. He was going to play a big role tonight, unfortunately. But you get past all of that. Jayden does some nasty shit to his arm tonight. Here's what you ultimately now have to deal with. There's going to be people on both sides of the fence. Wherever you lie is where you lie, and I'm not here to tell you you're wrong. I don't really give a shit, to be honest with you. Everybody's opinion is going to be everybody's opinion. It's no different than playing your guys in the preseason and they get hurt and they go, well, why was he in? It's the preseason. But then you get to the regular season, you don't play your guys, you start slow. They should have played their guys more in the preseason. You can't have it both ways. Should Jayden have been out there in a 38-7 game that was well done? This game was over in the first half, but it's now 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter of a 38-7 game. Should he have been out there? Probably not. Probably not. Hindsight's 2020. Of course not. But should he have been out there? I had no issues with it at the time until he broke his arm, dislocated it at the bare minimum. Then I had a problem with it. Some people were already saying, why is he out there? Get him out of the game. They weren't wrong. Before his injury, I asked the question to the mob. Does someone need to be fired? Does someone need to lose their job based off of this performance? That was one of the worst defensive performances I've ever seen in my life in a half of football. We've seen some bad performances. We sat through the Monday night massacre. We sat through that. First play of the game was a 75-yard, probably more like 85-yard Deshaun Jackson bomb from Michael Vick. We watched that. We sat through that. This was on par with that. Except that wasn't Deshaun Jackson and Michael Vick. It was Sam mother effing Darnold cooking us like crack. I got baking soda. I got baking soda. When you do the things that we've done this season, when you lose in this fashion, when you put your quarterback at risk, nothing is out of bounds. You've effectively and officially put you and everyone else in connection with you in the crosshairs. And it starts with Adam Peters. Because of how bad things have gone this season, and he couldn't have predicted that every aspect of this roster would be touched by injuries, and significant ones at that. He couldn't have predicted that, but he still handcrafted this roster and told us it was good enough. And let me go back to the summer for a second, because this season was DOA before the shit even got started. This season was cooked before the shit even had a chance with this whole DQ and Terry standoff. This dick measuring contest killed any momentum from last year that you tried to bring in. DQ's message all last year, all offseason was, we need to build off of last year. Well, you killed any opportunity of building for this season when you couldn't get your best receiver into camp so you could build off of 2024's success. You gave a false sense of this defense being good. All we heard was Joe Witt Jr. tell us how good the defense was performing. All we heard from beat reporters all summer, how good this defense has looked. You know why they look good? And I kept saying this, because our offense was that bad. It was Debo and the D-backs, rest of the damn receivers. Bullshit ass dudes who aren't here anymore, practice squad quality players that were out there in the summertime making our defense feel like they were actually good. Then we went to New England for a joint practice and they worked our ass over, and we should have known then when the beat reporters didn't say shit and we got mad because they weren't reporting. They said, it won't shit to tell y'all. Y'all didn't really want to hear what we had to say because it was that damn bad. And then we went out in the first preseason game, and we got blessed. And we should have, right then and there, we should have known. But you know what we did? It's the preseason. Oh, nobody cares. It's just our backups. Well, no one could tell then that those backups were going to actually have to play. And now you're seeing that because of those backups being so ass, and now they have to play, look at the state of this team and the roster and the situation that we're in. So it starts with AP. You assembled this shit. Now people are questioning you. And I don't think it's fair. Again, I'm one of those people, patience. I preach patience. I've been here before. I've seen the worst of the worst. I know this NFL shit like the back of my hand. You can't grade a draft after 1 or 2 years, but you can look at players and tell what their ceiling is and isn't. You can tell if a guy's really good or if he isn't. Doesn't take you long to figure that shit out. And we can look at Adam Peters' inaugural draft and we can say, that shit, not very good. I don't know, Jim. Not very good. You can't. The 2024 second round is akin to the 2008 second round right now. I bullshit you not. Malcolm Kelly, Devin Thomas, Fred Davis. You can't miss like that. You had 3 second-round picks. Johnny Newton. Look, you can keep trying to tell me Johnny Newton is playing excellent football. I just know the man is invisible basically every single week. You can try to, even if he's playing at a solid level, you don't draft solid in the second round. That's not what we do here. I'm looking at other teams' second-round picks like Lassiter for the Texans, and I'm like, damn, that's a shutdown corner right there. Borderline. That's what a second-round pick is supposed to look like. Not this bullshit. Don't keep talking to me about, man, Johnny's doing a fantastic job. Well, I can't tell. They showing clips of some garbage-ass right tackle named Lucas who's out here putting dudes to sleep. I said, you want to know why? He's getting rushed by Preston Smith. You decided, Adam Peters, that Preston Smith was a good acquisition. Instead of going off and scouring these teams' practice squads and finding a real able-bodied defensive end, you told us that Preston Smith was the answer. You did that. Instead of bringing us Kendrick Bourne, you told us that Robbie Chosen and Chris Moore and Traylon Burks, whatever the hell his name is, they were the answer. We didn't need Kendrick Bourne. You told us that despite all of the shit that we don't have because of injuries, Drake Jackson being on IR is okay and it's going to help us. All right. So you say. Ben Sinnott is a second-round pick. I can't tell. Mikey Sainristil took a massive step back this season. I haven't given up on him. He's the one thing that is salvageable in that second round, it feels like. Same thing in the third round. Brandon Coleman's now a backup. Luke McCaffrey, solid special teams player right now. He's hurt, probably done for the season. My guess, probably broke his collarbone. I hope that's not true, but shit, with our luck, that's probably what happened. Fractured his clavicle. So that's the type of bullshit we on this season. So, hey, Adam Peters, you're now in the crosshairs. Like, no one's absolved from wrongdoing here. Everyone's open to criticism and some sort of blame, right? Everyone has a hand in this shit. And people are looking at this whole entire staff all the way from the top down. And they want people to take responsibility and be accountable for their actions. DQ, I love him like a play cousin. I really do. DQ is awesome. I love his energy. I love the way he cares for people. And he's a motivator. I think these guys respond to him. But here's what you're not allowed to do. Whatever side of the ball is your specialty, that's not allowed to suck. I can't stress this enough. I've been saying this for years. It was one of my biggest criticisms of Ron Rivera. You can't be a defensive-minded coach and your defense stinks every single year. And I don't give a shit what talent you do or don't have. You picked it. You picked the talent. You told us that we were going to be fine with Preston Smith. You told us that we were going to be good with Marshawn Latimore. You told us we were going to be good with Quan Martin. You told us we were going to be good with all the guys you brought in here. You picked these guys. So you got to make this shit work. And I know you didn't plan for injuries. No one ever does. But the defense can't be this bad. It was bad last year. It was just as bad last year. And I apologize. I apologize. Really, I do. I apologize to every single one of y'all, Derek B included. Double O. Okay. I was wrong. Every single one of y'all that told me that this defense was just as bad. Now, when I was making that argument, when the defense was still somewhat whole. Dorrance Armstrong and Dietrich Wise and Will Harris were still available at that time when I was making that argument. We weren't in the doldrums of Von Miller and Preston Smith having to play starter type reps. We were and Jacob Martin having to play starter reps. We weren't there yet, right? We weren't back to having Sheldon Day having to eat reps at defensive end and defensive tackle. We weren't there yet. Jalen Holmes wasn't even on the roster anymore. We weren't there yet. But you guys tried to warn me that this defense was just as bad as last year's defense, and I wasn't trying to hear any of it. And I still believe if this defense were healthy, we wouldn't be having this conversation, but that's no here nor there. The name of the game is depth, and we knew we lacked it. We were deeper than last year's team, but we still weren't deep enough to have a slew of injuries hit us the way it did this year. Last year's defense was just as bad as this year's defense. The only difference was the offense was just that damn good. That was the biggest difference. They could cover up for the sins of the defense. This year, the offense stinks. And because the offense stinks, the defense is now fully exposed to all of its nastiness. And now it's on full display for everyone to see because the offense isn't hiding it with these long drives that end in touchdowns that allow them to stink up the joint, but do it in a manner that still gives us a chance to win the game. Now you're seeing Sam Darnold bless us in a half of football. That shit was despicable tonight. Dan Quinn should be ashamed of himself. You can't be a defensive-minded head coach and put that kind of product on the field defensively. We were just playing against a team with a defensive-minded coach. You see that defense? He handcrafted that shit. He went out and got most of those dudes to fit his defense. And the ones that were there already that were worth a damn, he kept them around and he built around those guys. That defense is legit. You know why? Because he's a defensive-minded head coach. The one thing that ain't going to stink over here is my goddamn defense. You ever think Sean McVay's offense is ever going to stink in L.A.? Look, he don't know what the hell the defense is doing. But I can tell you one thing, Sean McVay's offense is always going to be on point. Andy Reid, God bless him. He always finds a good defensive coordinator. But if he don't know what the hell the time defense is going to be on. But you know what's going to always be on point? That goddamn offense. Why? Because he's an offensive-minded guy. You can't be a coach that is supposed to be specialized on one side of the ball, and that side of the ball stinks. We got problems. If you can't get the one thing that you're supposed to be able to have on lock, under control, we got a problem. This whole shit, man. This whole shit is a disaster right now. And the beauty of it is, if there is a silver lining in this, is that Jayden doesn't have to go through the rest of this season dealing with this bullshit because it wasn't going to get any better. This was going to be just as bad, if not worse, next week against Detroit. And instead of this type of bullshit happening or something else happening to Jayden with 2 weeks left in the season and now the whole offseason's ruined, he could just get straight to the rehab process now, be out for 3 months, 4 months, whatever that rehab process looks like. And by the time OTAs roll around, he's ready to rock. And we can just get, like, you can put Terry on IR. Like, we can end this hoe now, right? Now we don't have to play this game of, well, we'll see when Noah comes back. And Terry, no, F all of that. Get Noah's ass out of here. Put Terry on IR. And let's just start this shit anew in 2026. Now we can do that with peace. We don't have to have this cloud of what if? What if we get hot? You know, what if Terry comes back and no. We don't have to have that carrot dangling in front of us no more. That shit is over with now. Now we can just get straight to the shits. That's the only silver lining out of this situation that absolutely stinks. Glad it wasn't his throwing arm. But this shit makes me sick to my stomach. We got no reason to watch these final 8 games, man. This shit is very reminiscent of 2019. Very reminiscent of 2019. There is absolutely zero reason to tune in to the Washington Commanders the remainder of the season. We're going to be on Hard Knocks, guys and gals. We're going to be on Hard Knocks. For what? For what? And there's nothing that DQ can say. There's nothing that he can do. A lot of the things that he's going to say is going to fall on deaf ears. There's a sector of this fan base that doesn't want to hear shit from him other than resignation. People are upset. They should be. We had real, like, the reason why I'm not tripping. I ain't tripping. I've been here before. Unfortunately, I've been here before. And if you've been a fan of this team long enough, so have you, right? The thing that I think hurts the most if you're a fan like myself, you've been here for a long time. I think the thing that hurts the most is that we thought this shit was over last year. We thought we weren't going to have to experience this type of emotion again. Bro, my legs went numb for about a minute and a half, 2 minutes. I couldn't feel my legs. As my fandom on the inside died tonight. I'm wearing black the rest of the season. This is going to be the get up for the rest of the. I might change the hat to have some color on it every now and again, but I'm wearing all black. I'm dressed in all black like the home omen because that's how I feel inside. I'm dark inside. I'm dark right now. Inside, I'm dark. There's no happiness. There's no light right now. My fandom is completely dark. And I never thought we would be back here after seeing what happened last year. Even if we had a bad season, it wouldn't get this bad. You know what I mean? Never thought we'd be back. This feels like Dan Snyder owns the team all over again. And I know that is so over the top. Like you're doing too much. And I don't like to be that guy. I'm just telling you how I feel right now. Right? Over time, this will dissipate. I'll feel better. And I'll realize, take a step back and realize it's just 1 year. And these types of seasons happen. When you lose your quarterback or you lose star players, these type of seasons can happen in the NFL. The only difference for us is we never had expectations. So when shit happened, we just went, shit, looks like Taylor Heineke's going to be our quarterback. We won't go, like, we went through 2023. The only thing we were hoping to find out in 2023 was Sam Howell a starting NFL caliber quarterback, and was Eric Bieniemy a real offensive play caller? We found that out relatively quickly and realized neither one of them fit the bill. And so we had something to look forward to. Let's tank, let's crash out and get the highest pick we can in a deep quarterback draft class. Mission accomplished. We were all sat through 2019. There was no hope, bro. You already had your quarterback in Dwayne Haskins, but you weren't sure if he was really any good, right? That you knew Jay Gruden was going to get fired. You knew we were going to be ass. You knew we had no talent. You went into that season knowing that. And it still was the worst season ever. We all sat through 2013, bro. That was the last time we felt like this, where you had expectations after you did something really nice in a rookie season of a quarterback. But even that season didn't feel real because of the whole all in for week one bullshit. Even that didn't feel real. And you could see that there was dissension and that the shit wasn't, and that felt nasty. This feels like some Dan Snyder era shit. This feels like the black cloud is all back hovering over our heads and shit. Tell me this didn't feel like some 2013, 2008 bullshit. Tell me. Look me in my eyes and tell me this ain't feel like 2019 all over again. That's the shit that hurts. All of that PTSD that we tried to shed, that we kept saying, hey, I told you this is the last piece of PTSD I got. I just need back-to-back winning seasons. That's it. Show me that this shit is really, truly over so I can just free myself. All of that shit came rushing back. All of the goodwill they did last season, it took them 20 games to get us to trust them. And what they built in 20 games, they undid in 9. We literally just did a 360. We did the Abe Simpson. We went in the bar, put our hat on the coat rack, walked in a circle, grabbed the hat, put it back on our head, and walked back out. We right in the same damn place we started at. The only difference is we still got Jayden Daniels. We still got Jayden Daniels. Just the only thing that makes this shit even bearable, tolerable. That's the only reason the rest of this season was even watchable. It's because you had 5. I told people in the chat, I would just end this stream now and go live. set for 5. 5's here. I got to watch my demon. So I can't turn this off. I got to watch Jaden. I got to watch Jayden. And if I had turned the game off and got on live and y'all would have told me he did something to his arm, he dislocated his elbow, he broke his arm, whatever he did tonight, fractured it, whatever happened, I wouldn't have believed you. I would have thought y'all was bullshitting me in the chat, and I would have got mad because you don't play with injuries. I was actually on live with Rio when this shit happened. And you know Rio's ahead of me. So he's like, Lou, they just broke our quarterback arm. They just broke the GOAT's arm. I says, man, stop playing, Rio, man. That shit ain't funny, bro. And he slumped back in his chair, and I'm like, Rio, stop, bro. Don't say that shit to me. And then I watch the play, and I watch his arm, and I see him roll over, and Rio, I got to go, bro. I got to go, man. I got to go, bro. I can't do this shit. I'll just say this to y'all tonight. As bad as it feels right now, and this feels like shit, bro. Like, it sucks being a Commanders fan. It really does. Because we've been here too many times before. And we thought we weren't going to have to be back here ever again, or at least anytime soon. But yet, here we are again. However, and now you know what comes with this, right? Oh, Jayden Daniels is injury prone. So we got to hear that shit too now. And we can't deny it, right? He played in every game last year, but nobody's going to remember that. All they remember is that he got hurt 3 times this season. And this one was pretty bad. So now we got to hear he's injury prone. So that comes with the territory now too. So prepare yourself for that. But ultimately, it's just one season, y'all. As bad as this shit feels, as horrible as it looked tonight, it's just one season. Now, are the right people, and this is a real question now that we have to ask ourselves, and nothing's out of bounds. Everything's on the table. And no one is above criticism or reproach. The question now is, are the right people to turn this thing around in the building? I'd still think very highly of Adam Peters, Lance Newmark, and the staff, Chase Blackburn, and everybody that they've assembled in that front office. I still think very highly of all of them. I still think DQ is a really good coach. I still think that there's some really good coaches in that building. But I'm going to be honest with you, this shit wasn't good enough this year. It wasn't good enough this year. It just simply was not good enough this year. And if you can't find a way to be better moving forward, then we have to start questioning whether the right guys are in the building or not. I don't know the answer to that. Like, and I'm not in the headspace to answer that right now because, you know, I'm right now. I want to do the fan shit and just fire everybody. I want to do the whole JP shit, right? I want to get in my JP bag. Shout out to my guy, John Perez. I just want to get in my JP bag. Fire everybody. Like, that's the type of time I'm on right now. But I know that's not the right emotion. That's not a fair emotion. That's an emotional reaction. And that's not the right one here. But that's just how I feel because this season had so much promise. Can somebody just pick me up, teleport me back to August, please? Start this shit all over again. See if we can't have different results. That'd be nice. Back when there was all kinds of hope and we were talking about this offense was going to do this and Jayden was going to do that and this, that, and the third. Can we just go back to then? I don't know where the good times at. I just want to bring the good times back. Anyway. Does somebody get fired tomorrow? Is there a sacrificial lamb? I don't think. With DQ, the way he operates, I don't think anybody's going to be sacrificed. I don't think anybody has to fall on the sword for this. He's a loyal guy, maybe to a fault. I will say this. Joe Witt is in a tough spot. I don't envy him, because I think tonight was a perfect example of, we talked about this going into the game. You got to get to Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold was the number 3 overall pick in the 2018 NFL draft for a reason. Super talented. You give him time, he will carve your ass up with a Ginsu knife. Okay? Joe Witt tried the pressure. We tried to play man behind it. Got cooked. Mikey 6 yards behind Torrey Horton for a touchdown. Tried to blitz, tried to play man. JSN on a slant. Easy money. We had no answers. Tried to blitz and get pressure. T.O., Tyler Owens, up the seam to Arroyo. Touchdown. Try to play zone behind a blitz. Easy pitch and catch. Guys running all through our zone coverage. So you can't just rush 4. We're not Seattle's defense. You can't just rush 4 and drop 7 in coverage. You can't blitz because you're still getting cooked. So what does Joe Witt do? I can already tell you that he's not an intricate blitzer, right? Like, our blitzes don't hit home. Like, when Seattle blitzes, somebody's coming scot-free. Shit, what just happened? Why is this guy running in Jayden's face and he has nowhere to go? We blitz, everybody's accounted for, and the quarterback gets to stand back there and deliver the football. So that's on Joe Witt. But ultimately, it is what it is. I don't think personally anybody's head is going to roll for this. I wouldn't be surprised if more changes are made, like somebody takes over certain duties or whatever. But ultimately, I don't think anybody gets canned. I wouldn't be opposed to it, though. I wouldn't be opposed to it. This was a shit show we watched tonight. Like, I'm trying to, like, put it on a level, because we've seen some bad performances, but can you recollect a start to a game like the one we saw tonight? Like, we've seen big explosive plays given up for touchdowns, but there were incompletions in there, and there might have been a punt in there somewhere. Bro, they scored on all 5 of their first half possessions, and the only reason that the 5th score wasn't a touchdown is because they ran out of time. The man didn't have an incompletion in the first half. He threw 4 touchdown passes, and these weren't dink and dunkers. The man had damn near 300 yards passing in the first half. Their first drive accumulated over 100 yards of total offense because it went 90 yards and they had a 15-yard penalty. Then they had another 5-yard penalty that they overcame on the drive. So that drive in excess was 110 yards of total offense. And they did it without an issue, with a Coke and a smile. I don't know if I've seen worse. I don't know if I've seen worse. I might have. I'm not sure if I have. So if you tell me, if I wake up tomorrow and you tell me that somebody got fired, I'm not opposed to it. I'm not mad. I ain't glad, but I ain't mad. Because this shit was bad. Real bad. This was on some 56-14 Dallas Cowboys back in 2021, I think it was. The COVID year. I think it was 2021 on a Sunday night. Y'all remember that shit when Duran and John Allen were fighting each other on the sideline? This was on par with that. But this might have been worse because we were home One, that was in Dallas, right? That was the warmed bench, right? The heated benches bullshit where they brought their benches to our game, so now we want to bring our benches to their game. Stupid shit, right? But this one was at home. This one was on Art Monk night. And this wasn't against like the Dallas Cowboys with Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb and all of the shit that goes on with that, Amari Cooper and all of the shit that Dallas can throw at you at that time. This ain't that. Zeke Elliott and all of that shit. This is just Seattle. And they're good, but they ain't that goddamn good. I watched them this season. I saw Sam Darnold turn the bitch over like the offense turned it over like 3-4 times the last time I saw him against the Texans. Clearly, we're not the Texans. Anyway, I digress. This is how I'll sleep at night moving forward. It was just one season. Like, treat it like a bad dream. Eventually, we'll wake up and you'll realize it was all just a bad dream. And you'll be relieved that it was just a bad dream. That's what I'm going to look at this season as. Just a bad dream. We'll wake up in 2026. Season's over. Jayden's almost through with his rehab. He's back to throwing and normal activities. Terry's back from his quad injury. And we can just start anew. We can just start all over. That's how I'm going to look at this season. No more Zach Ertz. No more Bobby Wagner. And again, those guys aren't the problem. Those guys aren't the problem. But in order for us to move forward, we can't have any more veterans, oldie but goodies, eating up minutes for young guys. Like we got to start getting younger on this team. You just can't have that everywhere. So, anyway, I digress. What would be really nice is if we had some real shit to offload. Like, I'm open to trading Debo at this point. I'm open to trading, like, Marshawn got hurt tonight. Of course, he got hurt. I don't think anybody would have wanted him, but I was, if anybody was interested, I heard there were teams actually interested in Marshawn Latimore. Hell yeah. We would have dealt him in a heart. I would have dealt him in a heartbeat. Deron Payne, ship him off. If you're not going to give him a new deal in the offseason, get rid of him. Like, we need as much draft capital as humanly possible. I'm not a big fan of stockpiling a bunch of 5th, 6th, and 7th round picks. But at this point, you got to get in your Rams bag. I'm watching the Rams today, and I'm just like, what round did they get this young guy in? I think he's a 3rd round pick. This man is like almost leading the NFL in sacks, bro. Like, I remember there was a stretch there where the Rams didn't have a 1st or a 2nd round pick. It seemed like for like 4 years straight. They didn't have a 1st round pick for like 6 years straight. They drafted Jared Goff in the 1st round in 2016. They didn't have a 1st round pick until like 2 years ago. I want to say it was the 2023 draft. Maybe was their first time. So maybe 7 years. It was their first time having a 1st round pick in that long. And they find ways to have all this talent though, without a 1st round pick, without a 2nd round pick in a number of drafts. Because they went for it and they won a Super Bowl. But they stockpiled a bunch of 3s and 4s and 5s and they hit on them shits. We got to start hitting on some shit, man. And so be it. We might have to have 6 round picks. F it. Figure the shit out, man. We got to get younger. We got to get more talent on this roster. We got to figure out some things. Let this be the last year we're the oldest team in football. Let this be the last year of this shit. Let this be the last year where we out here scraping the bottom of the barrel for guys like Robbie Chosen and Trey Burks and Chris Moore. Let this be the last year of this shit. I don't want no more 32-year-old wide receivers. There was a guy named Elijah Moore just sitting out there in free agency that I begged Adam Peters to go sign. And I'm not telling you Elijah Moore is some dynamic receiver that would have been out, that he's tearing the cover off of this shit this year for the Bills. That ain't what I'm telling you. I just tell you, I'd be more excited about Elijah Moore running around for this team as a 25-year-old receiver that runs a 4.3 than Chris Moore, than Robbie Chosen. You know, I was sitting there, I told my wife this, and shout out to Navy Ramjet. He brought this up unsolicited. I didn't even mention this. I told my wife, I told Rio this. Rio didn't even respond. He probably was like, man, Lou, get out of here with that bullshit. I told Rio. Matter of fact, I'm going to read you the text message I sent him. I'm going to read you the text message I sent him. I said to him, you should see these text messages we had today. We was really like watching football and just really realizing we ain't shit. Like, you should read these text messages. Me and Rio, we was just going back and forth today like, man, we some shit for real. We some shit. But I texted him. I said, never thought I'd say this. We miss OZ. And I'm watching OZ play for the Bears, and he's making plays, and Caleb loves him. I said the organization undervalued him. And then I text him again. I said, man, our defense is awful. I'm watching all these defenses look good today. If there was a question that was asked, which one of these defenses doesn't belong, it'd be ours. I'm sad. And Rio said, very, with a defensive head coach, which is what I just referred to. Anyway, I could keep going. We just were talking. Almost like we were foreshadowing this ass whooping. Almost like we were talking about all the shit that we don't have leading up to tonight's ass whooping, knowing that all of the shit that we don't have was going to be on full display tonight. But I wasn't mentally prepared for my quarterback to go down. That just shook me. It's the same feeling I had after the Dallas game when I didn't know the extent of his injury. I just knew he was out. It was a bad loss. And you couple that with the injury and you're thinking, what do I have left if Jayden's not here? You're back there again. But this time, you know he's not coming back. At least with that one, there was a chance. It wasn't super serious. He could be back, which he ended up being back. He's not coming back this year. He's not coming back this year. So let me be clear though. Let me be clear about this. I don't want your mock drafts. I know what time it is. I get it. I'm not built for mock drafts in November. I'm not. I've never been. I never will be. I'm going to just enjoy football. Y'all start, though. Start without me. I'm going to catch up in February. I promise. I'm going to catch up. Y'all go ahead and get a head start without me, though. Even if I wanted to get, like, knee-deep in the mock draft shit, I can't even get excited because we don't have a second-round pick. I can't even get excited about this shit. We don't have a second-round pick. So you tell me we got the 6th overall pick in the draft. Because how many more games we winning this season with this group you watch tonight with Marcus Mariota at quarterback? How many more games you see on the schedule? Miami looking at us like we sweet. Miami looking at us like we food. They tucking their napkin in their shirt. They finna eat when we come to Madrid. They looking at us and they saying, y'all on the damn menu. Who we finna beat? You saw J.J. McCarthy in that Vikings defense today? Who we finna beat? I'm not sure we beating the Giants. Truth be told, keeping it a stat, we might be the worst team in the division right now. Now you don't got Jayden, so you got nothing. Who you beating? We could very well end this season 3-14. That's some real shit. Like, You got to come to grips with there might not be another win on the schedule for us. Real spit. You saw the defense tonight, man. Don't kid yourself. The only thing that gave us hope every week was 5. You end up with the 5th pick in the draft. That's cool. You're going to get a really good football player. But you're supposed to be getting 2 really good football players because you're supposed to be drafting again at the top of the 2nd round. Won't have that pick. That's the shit that hurts. Because when you get those picks up, you're not thinking you're going to suck. It's the same shit we did in the Robert Griffin III trade. When you traded all those picks, you thought, oh shit, we going to be good. I ain't tripping. Then the next year, you had the 2nd worst record in football, and you gave the Rams the number 2 overall pick. They ain't do shit with it. They drafted Greg Robinson. It don't matter. That still was our shit. Here we go again. Anyway, I digress, man. We got bills to pay, man. So we gonna go ahead, get into the skill game. Come back on the other side, get to the comment section, see what y'all talking about, man. Boy, this is a long. We got 8 games left, y'all. Buckle the hell up. Buckle your goddamn seatbelts. You in for a hell of a ride. You know we got hard knocks right still. Y'all do understand. We got to sit through hard knocks. 4 straight division games. They're going to be focused on us with Marcus Mariota as our starter. I don't even know if I want to watch that shit now, man. Somebody get me the hell out of here, man. Get me out of here.
The Skill Game, brought to you by Sleeper.
All right, man. Sleeper is a fantasy sports and real money gaming app that focuses on bringing people together through sports and gaming. If you haven't already done so, you should download the Sleeper app. I don't have much enjoyment in my sports life anymore. This app is one of the few sources of enjoyment that I have left. And I told a funny story on Rio's stream earlier today that I won. I finally won. My drought is over. I'm about to get hot on y'all asses now. I'm trying to tell y'all, get with the kid because I'm about to turn the shit up, right? So I finally got a dub tonight. And I was this close to not getting a dub. And I don't know where my mentals would have been if I didn't get that dub tonight. Because I'm going to show y'all the picks. So first and foremost, if you don't have the Sleeper app, shame on you. Download the app. There's a link in the description of this video. Click that link, whether you got an Android or you got an iPhone. Download the app and use my promo code LTN to get you 100% match on your first deposit up to $100. That's right, a dollar for dollar match. You put in 100, they're going to give you an additional 100. And I would recommend you put in 100 so you can maximize that because that $100, they give you 100 on top of that. Plus, for just downloading the app, first-time user. Once you verify that you are who you say you are, make sure that Sleeper is available in your state. It's available in over 25 states. They're going to give you $23. So, anyway, I wasn't sure if I was going to get the dub or not. So, let's go to my picks real quick. Let me go to my picks. So, this was the game pick for tonight's game. Jackson Smith and Jigba did that shit in the first half. So we knew he was going to do that. We laughed. We joked about how fast he was going to hit that. And I didn't expect him to do the shit in the first half. He did. Ertz, anytime. First of all, we scored 14 points. Like, we had all these touchdowns, right? Debo a touchdown. Ertz a touchdown. Jayden for 2 pass touchdowns. Shit never came to fruition. Kenneth Walker, I thought he was going to break one on the outside for more than 13 and a half yards. He almost did. He had 12. This shit was a joke, man. None of this happened, right? So here was my win in the NBA, right? I had a bunch of NFL tickets today, and I just got to put them shits on the right ticket. I'll be all over the place. But anyway, I had an NBA ticket. Let me tell y'all how this shit went down. I did this ticket, and it initially didn't have Isaiah Joe on it. for three pointers essentially. So I went back, took it, and I canceled out because you could cancel out. This is what I love about Sleeper. You got 5 minutes after you put in a ticket to go back in and cancel it, and no questions asked to give you back your money. So I wanted to take one of the things I wanted to do was I wanted to take Keyshawn George's assist from 7.5. That's what it was at. And I wanted to move it down to 6. I just had a feeling today. So I went back and then I said, oh shit, Isaiah Joe is back. He gonna shoot that bitch. So I added him to the ticket and I moved Keyshawn George's assist down from 7.5 to just 6. Look, and it saved me, right? But anyway, everything hit. Everything hit. Except for Brunson. He was at 26 points. And then they were blowing out the Bulls. And it was the fourth quarter, and I didn't think he was getting off the bench. And when I tell you, we were down 21-0 in the game. And I'm telling God, I need this win, bro. I don't know what I'm going to do if and this was before Jayden. Like, you tell me, you add Jayden's injury on top of this. If I didn't get this win, I'd have lost my mind tonight. I'm not bullshitting you. I needed a win so bad. I didn't care where I got the shit from. I just needed a win, bro. So thank the gods for that one. I needed that one for my sanity. So got me a win for $337, as you can see. It was really $600, but LaMelo didn't play. So that took away like $300, but that's cool. I ain't tripping. I just needed the dub. So I'm back in the game, and I look forward to winning some more tomorrow. We gonna get hot now, right? So if you don't have Sleeper, telling you, I've made a lot of people money already. More money than I've made myself, but that's about to change. Download the app, and let's make this money together, all right? I don't got to make this money alone. It's enough out here for all of us to eat and eat good. Look, you ain't doing shit else. Our team is ass. You ain't got shit else to do. It's like Friday. You ain't got shit else to do. We ass. Come get this money, man. Stop playing. Use my promo code LTN for 100% match on your first deposit up to $100. And let's get this money. Turn every day into payday. All right.
The Skill Game, brought to you by Sleeper.
All right. Shout out to Sleeper for sponsoring this stream. So let's get to the comment section and see what you guys got to say. We'll get out of here. I don't want to keep you too long. Shadow Striker 789. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, Dan Quinn can get fired tonight. If I woke up tomorrow and Dan Quinn did not have a job, I wouldn't be sad. I would not be sad. I would be like, damn, how life comes at you fast. This shit happened quick. But I wouldn't be mad. But again, that's my emotional side talking. Like, you can't fix something if you're constantly changing things every year. This man just took us to the best season we've had in over 30 years. Just a year ago. Now, if you're willing to flip on him that quick, that's wild, but I get it. And as I said, I'm not here to choose sides, because I get it from that side that wants him gone right now, immediately. And I get it from the side that's like, yo, we got to be patient. We just got to chill. I get both sides. I don't have a dog in the fight at this point. Whatever happens, happens. He ain't going nowhere, though. But I get it. Eric Sunderland, thank you for being a member for 25 months. Who writes, thought Cliff would be a head coach. He going to stay at OC? I believe so. I mean, unless he wants a college job, there'll be plenty of those. You already see all of these openings, Penn State and shucks. What's the other one? LSU, and it's going to be plenty of opportunities. Schools opening up jobs. So if he desires to go back to college, there may be an opportunity for him. But I think he wants to be an NFL head coach again. So if that's the case, he'll be back next year. And I want Cliff back. You know, Cliff got his shit with him. But I know y'all saw Jayden get under center tonight. And that was great. And I think they need to implement some more of that. They had a special package for Seattle where he actually got under center. And they got some good shit. They got the pass to John Bates out of it, right? On the fourth down. They had a couple of nice toss runs to Bill. I thought they did some good shit out of that. So Cliff, there's so much more that they can tap into with Cliff. I would love to see him back next year. And I think right now it feels like he is going to be back. CC Skins. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. CC Skins writes, Mr. Peters no longer AP. Should have settled Terry shit before the draft. Facts. That should have never leaked into our offseason. Our season ended before it even got a chance to start with that Terry shit. Just bad vibes, man. Bad juju. Too many old players. Latimore trade bad. Don't trade for injured old players. Shaking my head. Again, I'm not upset at the Latimore trade. We went for it. It didn't work out. You can't look back on the trade now and be like, oh, it's a bad trade, yada, yada, yada. Yeah, no, we didn't. That one didn't work out. But that doesn't mean you stop trying to go get guys. You think every trade Howie Roseman has executed has worked? You think everything that he's done? He don't stop swinging, though. You can't stop swinging. Every trade ain't gonna work out in your favor. He just keep going, right? And that's what Adam Peters got to do. He just got to keep going. We do got to get younger, though. I think that is mandatory this offseason. Have to get younger. Layla Brown, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Layla writes, it broke my heart seeing Jayden like that, Louie. I told you I was numb, bro. I mean, I was numb, sis. I literally couldn't feel my legs. You know how you get that circulation cut off and you get up and your shit just numb and like you can't even feel them? That's how my shit felt. And I was sitting normal. Like I had perfect blood flow. I couldn't feel my legs. When Rio said, oh my God, they broke his arm, Lou. I'm like, bro, why would you say some shit out your mouth like that, Rio? You tripping, bro. Why would you? And then I saw the slump from Rio. And the only other time I saw him do that was when Jayden fumbled the ball against the Bears. So I knew he wasn't bullshitting. He took the headset off. And I was like, Rio, don't say that to me, bro. And then I watched the play because, you know, Rio 10 seconds ahead of me, 15 seconds ahead of me. I watched the play. Shit, he probably like more like 30, 45 seconds ahead of me. And I'm in total disbelief and shock. Like, I even know what to do with myself. Like, I gotta go, Rio. I can't be up here, bro. I gotta go, man. And I just stared at the screen, like with this blank stare. Like, you would have thought somebody just took out one of my family members or some shit. Like, why do I care about this shit this much, man? This shit means something to me, man. I couldn't move. I was paralyzed for about a good 2 minutes. If I know Jayden like I think I know him, this ain't going to do nothing but fuel him to be even better next year. Like, he wasn't crying when he was walking to the, he wouldn't get, first of all, he wouldn't get in the cart because he's a G. So he wouldn't get in the cart. Y'all not carting me off. I can walk. My legs work. So he walked off like a G. And then he took the good arm, the right one, and he said, damn. He going to use this shit as fuel. He going to hear all the bullshit. He injury prone. He this, he that. He got to watch from the sideline. That shit going to eat him up. It's just putting more fuel in the tank for 5. Don't worry. He'll be back. stronger, better than ever. He'll be back. CGM, I'm much rather, I'm gonna just be honest with you, being that it's his non-throwing arm, I'm much rather this shit be a upper injury than a lower extremity injury. I can't speak for you. As long as it ain't his throwing arm, I'm good. I can say that it ain't my arm that got hurt. I'm aware of that. But if you told me he was going to have a serious injury, I'd much rather it be something upper body wise, non-throwing, arm. We can bounce back. CGM87, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, I'm down for a house cleaning. Inexcusable beyond words. 5 in game. AP an absolute shit off season. Witt is a effing clown. Fire him before 9 a.m. And again, that opinion right there is not out of bounds. That's not a bad take. That ain't somebody just talking off the cuff. That's a real emotion right now. And I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad at it. That's what happens when you put the product that you put on the field tonight. This is what all comes with it. Nobody's safe. Video channel, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Video channel, thank you for being a member of the MOBB writes. Dan, Cliff, and Witt got to go. That QB power play call was completely malpractice. Yeah, at that point of the game, I wasn't a big fan of him still running, but check this out. Our offensive line was getting their ass whooped tonight. So even back, and like people always assume that mobile quarterbacks get hurt outside the pocket. No, most quarterbacks get hurt inside the pocket. Jayden's last injury happened in the damn pocket. Like Joe Burrow's injury happened in the pocket. Lamar's injury happened in the pocket. Most quarterbacks, when they get hurt in the pocket. Tom Brady's injury happened in the pocket. Like most injuries, when you think about them, and not all of them now, like CJ Stroud almost got decapitated today, running, sliding, right? Trying to protect himself. Shit happens. But him standing in the pocket, he wasn't safe. He was getting his ass whooped tonight. But yes, him being the primary focus of a run down 38-7 is complete malpractice. You're not wrong. Roy B, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Roy B writes, crash out, Lou. Wide receivers can't get open. Corners can't cover. Again, this is the roster they've assembled. Yep, injuries have made a mockery of our season, and it's put a product on the field that we can't even recognize, right? This shit is incomprehensible, watching this team and the roster that they've assembled. But key phrase, they assembled. They put this shit together. They put this shit together. Tito Savaria, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Writes, Lou, I've never been disgusted. I turned the game off early just to get a notification JD5 got hurt. So F DQ for getting our QB hurt. Again, this is why I didn't turn the game off. Not because I was expecting him to get hurt or anything like that. I just needed to watch my guy, like to make sure he was okay, to see what he was doing. I told the mob, I'm like, yo, if it wasn't for 5, I'd turn this shit off. If they take him out, I'm gone. I much rather would have turned the shit off and they would have taken him out than what ultimately happened. But again, it is what it is, you know. I'm pretty sure y'all watched DQ speak. I don't know what he said tonight. I'm gonna have to go back and watch, but there's really no justification, no rationale for the way we played tonight or for Jayden getting hurt. It's still being in the game. So it is what it is. JTF, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, it's been so painful being a diehard fan of our team. No sustained winning seasons, no chance at a Super Bowl or losing without drama or BS. It's awful. This is what happens when you lose at the level we've lost at this season. The Chicago game, the Dallas game, this game, the Atlanta game, the Green Bay game. This is what happens. The PTSD comes rushing back. You start to question your fandom again. All the shit we used to do when we thought we were never getting out. We were trapped and we were never getting out of the Snyder hold. That's the shit we used to do. We used to sit in the summertime in June and July, and we would talk about one day. Man, I don't know if we're going to ever see the day, but one day. Man, it's been tough, but we're going to get through to the other side. We thought we got through to the other side last year. Only to find out that we walked in one big-ass gigantic circle, and we're right back where we started. And that is such a sobering and numbing feeling. I've said this to you guys so many times. I sound like a broken record, but we deserve better. We do. We deserve better. And like Josh Harris didn't do anything wrong. He's given us everything we could ask for. We just deserve better, man. We just deserve better. Joshua Farish, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Joshua Farish writes, this is disgusting. We have a franchise quarterback and we don't give him any weapons and we keep him out there longer than we need it. We can't have nice things. So we can't act like we didn't think that this offense was loaded going into the season, because we did. We talked all kinds of shit about MVP this and best offense in the league that, and how would they be able to stop us if ... We can't sit here when we thought Terry's gonna be healthy, Terry with Debo, we was like, yo, Noah Brown gonna be your third option. This offense is gonna be crazy. Jalen Lane and Luke McCaffrey developing. You know, Bill gonna be a surprise. Like, ain't nobody gonna see him coming. We got Eck out of the backfield. You got Bill, J-Mac. You got Ertz. This could be a big year for Ben Sinnott. Like, we talked about that shit. We acted like this offense was gonna be all of that. Now, again, we never got to see this shit, really. Terry got hurt. First, it was Noah got hurt. Then Terry got hurt. Then Debo got hurt. And, Noah Eck got hurt the same time that Noah got hurt. And, this shit has just systematically been broken down. But it is what it is. I don't want to sit here and it's easy to second guess now because clearly the shit didn't work. The moves that were made in the offseason didn't work. But if we felt like they were, and like some of you did feel like they weren't going to work. Some of you didn't feel like it was enough. But someone like myself, I thought they had done enough because to me, the roster was better than it was. I did think that they needed to bring OZ back. I did say that. I was shocked that they didn't bring him back. I did think that Jeremy Chin should have been back. And again, I'm not telling you Jeremy Chin was perfect last year, but I know the defense wasn't this bad. I feel like it wasn't this bad last year. I know this. No quarterback last season started a game 15 for 15 for damn near 300 yards, 4 touchdowns, and made everything look ridiculously easy. I do know that never happened last year. Not one time. I do know that, but whatever. Clearly, we can't have nice things. Clearly, we can't have nice things. Zaydu, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Zaydu writes, for a second chance, DQ trying to F up this for himself. Yeah. Again, I wish I could defend him. I got nothing for you tonight. For any DQ stands out there, I got nothing for you tonight. Come back and see me tomorrow. Maybe I'll have more of a level head. Maybe I'll be able to see things from a different perspective. But right now, I got nothing. All right. And it's probably not fair to him, but I don't give a shit. That's just where my head is right now. Ryan Ellis, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, we knew Daniels would regress now the tape is on him is out. It's terrible losing players to injury despite how ass the Redskins are. Prayers up. Yeah, that's to me a lazy, low-hanging fruit narrative about the league is caught up to him. He was having he wasn't playing well this season, not to the level that we hold him to. And he still was one of the better quarterbacks in the league statistically. He still was playing well despite all of the injuries, despite his own set of injuries and the injuries around him that really made it tough. Like me and Rio were talking on his stream, and he was like, you know, the crazy part is the offense stunk this year and Jayden hasn't been good. And I'm like, but you can't say that based off of the shit that's around him. Like I liken it to the 2013, really the 2014 season when Chris Cooley was like, I can't even evaluate film for other players based off of Robert's play. Like I can't even evaluate the rest of the squad because he's that bad. And I feel like it's the opposite with Jayden. Like you can't even really truly evaluate his play because the shit around him isn't ideal. You know, it's just not a good situation. And so it's tough. We were supposed to be doing the things that I talked about, that natural progression, right? When he rolls out to be eyes down the field. There was a play where Jalen Lane was open for a potential touchdown. He laid it out towards the pylon and give him a chance to run it. He might not have caught the shit. We know Jalen Lane don't have the best hands in the world, and speaking of Jalen Lane, that fumble, soul crushing, right? But again, another discussion for another day. That's a throw you want to see Jayden make. But right now where he is mentally, his mind ain't on, let me keep my eyes up down the field. He's in survival mode. Let me take off and run. And so we were supposed to be working towards, I know I can run for 8 yards right here and get out of bounds. But after them 8 yards, I'm looking for 48 and a touchdown. And you can only get to that part when everything else around you is going the way that it's supposed to. Like, I liken it to, you can't work on your game in the offseason as a basketball player. You can't work on your shot, your handles. You can't get better and work on the aspects of your game that need improvement if you worried about rehabbing. You're just trying to get your ankle back or your knee back or your shoulder back to where it is so that you can go out and do those things. He's got so much he's worried about around him that he can't even focus on getting better and improving in those areas. It just sucks. But definitely prayers up to him and his family and us. Shit, prayers up to us too, man. This shit hurts, bro. Swaggy P, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, my guy. Swaggy P writes, this coaching staff needs to pay for their war crimes. I stopped watching at halftime, but hearing the injury news was just the cherry on top of a terrible night. On to Detroit, but who cares? I was wondering if you were going to come on and say on to Detroit. I'm not looking forward to being on to Detroit. I'm really not. And I told somebody earlier, if not for Jayden, I would have turned the game off. A lot of people did turn the game off. The reason I don't turn games off that I care about, because I've done streams in the middle of Commanders games before. I ain't give a shit. I ain't got no reason to keep watching. Jacoby Brissett is in the game. I don't give a shit. You know, right? Dirty Chaz is in the game. I don't give a shit. Josh Johnson is at quarterback. I don't care. So I'm turning that shit off. Jayden Daniels is in the game. I got to watch. I wasn't expecting to see that, though. That's a tough way to find out. Not watching, like that's some shit that would borderline give me a heart attack. I'm minding my business, and then I get an ESPN notification popping up on my phone telling me that Jayden Daniels got hurt with a nasty spill in his arm and had to be carried off the field. Like, yeah, I would be freaking out. I'd much rather see the shit with my own eyes than to have my heart drop to the bottom of my feet on some bad news like that. You know what I mean? Anyway, bad news is bad news. Bad news is bad news. CGM87, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes? O-line looks like he's coached by the guys Giants fired. Good one. Look, the offensive line actually has been really good this season. Pass protecting wise. They were really good run blocking too the first 5 weeks. And then I don't know what the hell happened after that. But they've actually been pretty solid pass protecting. But it is what it is. Like, they weren't great tonight, but Seattle's actually that good up front. You got to give them credit. Like we talked about this during the course of the week. Like, their defense is like that. It's the reason Cliff came out in the first like 7-8 plays were all passes. I'm like, you just not gonna try to run tonight, huh? He came out and he ran on the first 2-3 plays of the second possession, but I'm like, so you really just not gonna run it? We really gonna do that? But they like that defensively. They like that. That's funny. Good one, CGM 87. Good one. Tito Savaria. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes? They need to fire DQ and his weekly captain shit. Again, everything is up for examination. Like, when you're at this point, like, the sound of your voice annoys people. You breathing, it gets people's blood boiling. Like, just some simple shit like weekly captains is enough to piss somebody off right now. This is what happens when shit goes sideways. It's really unfortunate that we're here. Never thought we'd be here, but yet here we are. Shout out to Tito. JTF, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes? The Botch Commanders Kings live podcast was a bad omen. Maybe it was. Maybe it was. We had a great time in person, though. So in our minds, yeah, the shit that didn't go well on the actual stream for you guys at home sucked. But we had a time last night at that joint. And so we didn't think anything of it. But there were a lot of signs, JTF. There were a lot of signs. That was probably one of them. That was one of them. There are a lot of signs that we ran through, a lot of stop signs and red lights in this process. He says, just kidding, but this season has been a wash, and it sucks that Seattle always injures our quarterbacks. Didn't even think about that. But Robert did get hurt in that playoff game in 2012, or I think it was January of 2013 against the Seattle Seahawks. That didn't even dawn on me, but good observation there. Jason Rogers, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Our guy, Uncle Jay, writes, I'm mentally tapped out just like the good old days. I went numb again. Like, I was in total disbelief at what I was watching, what I was seeing. How could we get to this point? Why are we here? Like, it just, none of it made sense. And I'm watching it happen real time. And it's like I'm in some alternate reality and this is all surreal and none of this is making any sense. Like, it's like time slowed down for a second and I'm just sitting there staring at the TV and I'm hearing Mike Tirico in that somber voice as he kicks it to commercial break, and I'm just blank staring to the TV, and it's like my heart, it was beating but it wasn't beating, and I'm looking around and like I can't even put together a coherent thought at that point. Like, do I pick up my phone? Do I start getting ready for Bleacher Report? Do I type in the mob chat? Like, I couldn't even put together. I didn't even know what to do with myself. Then my legs were numb and I'm like, I was a mess. And I'm literally sitting here talking to you and my mind is still like all over the place right now as we speak. Like, it probably won't settle down until I get off this stream and I have a chance to sit down and kind of collect my thoughts and just sit in this shit. Because, again, this shit means something to me, man. Like, this ain't some shit where I'm just like any other sport. Like, the Braves season started off horribly. I can put that shit down, man. Fuck the Braves this year. I love the Braves, but no, let me say it. I like the Braves. I love the Commanders. The Grizzlies season 2 years ago was awful. We were the last team to win a game in the NBA. We were terrible. F the Grizzlies. I can put that shit down. Like, I like the Grizzlies. I really, really like the Grizzlies. I really, really like the Braves. I really, really like Duke Blue Devils basketball. I really, really like Notre Dame Fighting Irish college football. But I can put them shits down, bro. I can't put this shit down. No matter how bad it is, no matter how bad this hoe treat me, I always come back. She got a nasty ass attitude. She treat me like shit. I always come back. I'm a glutton for punishment. So here I am again. They did this shit to me again. They did this shit to you again. Here we are. Same spot. Same shit, different toilet. It's the life we chose. Once we signed up to be Commanders fans, this is the shit we chose. Jeff Antonio, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Jeff writes, hey, Lou. What's up, Jeff? That was tough to see JD like that. He has so much promise. He still does. Like, his career ain't over, right? This ain't like Bo Jackson wrecking his hip or some shit. He'll be back. I hope he's okay. He'll be fine. For the rest of the season, why do we have Jeff Driscoll as our backup? Why, Lou? Like, Marcus Mariota's fine. Like, that's the least of our worries. Mariota has done a bang-up job. You could argue Jeff Driscoll should at least be our third quarterback, not Josh Johnson, but I mean, shit. Now with Jayden out, I guess Sam Hartman becomes your third quarterback, so they don't need to do anything. Hartman was around, so he'll just be the emergency quarterback now. But whatever. Like, Jayden's going on IR. His season's done. Now you can sign Sam Hartman in his place. Sam won't be active on game days, but he'll be the emergency quarterback, so he'll be dressed now. So that'll be how this goes moving forward. And Josh Johnson will be your immediate backup, which if he gets in the game, God forbid he get in the game. Lord have mercy, help us all. It'll turn into 2018 all over again. I don't got it, bro. I don't got it. If I got to watch Josh Johnson on the field, like, we saw enough of that shit in the preseason. I don't got it, bro. Greg, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Greg writes, the coaching staff got to go. We got to stop that with that old people shit on the coaching staff and the players. Tonight is a fireable offense. I'm done, man. I feel you. I feel you. I feel you. Again, anybody that feels that way, I can't say that you're wrong. I can't say that you're wrong. Lorenzo, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Lorenzo writes, hey, Lou. What's up, Lorenzo? Eagles fan here. I'm praying for Daniels, man. That injury looked nasty. He fought hard. Yeah, it was nasty, man. It was tough to watch. I ain't even gonna hold you, Lorenzo. That was tough to watch. You getting your ass, kicked, your back kicked in, and you add insult to injury. Like, yeah, tough state of affairs. Nyron, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Nyron writes, I need AP to not be a bozo and learn from his mistakes, but I still want him here for the long run. But DQ can go. Get the hell out of here. Yeah, AP, I still trust all of those guys in the front office. The coaching staff, definitely, I look at them differently right now. This season didn't feel like a group that was prepared. We didn't feel like a group that was well coached. All the shit that we bragged and lauded and praised this group for last year, we felt like we were over prepared. We felt like we were always ready for a situation when it presented itself. We thought we were always more prepared than our opponents. We felt like we had a great staff, that we saw development from players. We couldn't stop gushing about this staff last year and just showering them with praise. And this year has been total polar opposite. We're not prepared. We don't take advantage of opportunities. We're undisciplined. How many penalties did we have tonight where we were having a drive and then you kill a drive with a 15-yard? We had 2 separate 15-yard penalties. Kill a drive. That's what, and I said this a month ago when we lost to, who was it? The Bears. So it wasn't a month ago. It was about 3 weeks ago. I said, that's what bad teams do. The shit we did tonight, I was talking about the Bears game. That's what bad teams do. The shit we did tonight, that's what 3 and 6 teams do. You already don't have no talent on the roster. You already got all these players injured, and then you beating yourself with penalties? That's what bad teams do. So DQ and his entire staff right now, all up for evaluation. Ryan Ellis, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Ryan writes, I don't think this is a double up. Don't worry, T. Eagles will win the Super Bowl for you. The only enjoyment we can get out of the season now is to make sure nobody that we truly care about wins anything of note. And the Eagles are the only team. Like, Dallas ain't good enough to do shit. The only team in this division worth a damn is the Eagles. And, you know, the only enjoyment we'll get out of the rest of this season is seeing the Eagles struggle at some point. But if they win another Super Bowl, we'll be miserable. I can't speak for anybody else. I will be absolutely miserable. Video channel, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes? 3 and 14 on the way. Question is, what do Josh and Magic want to do? That's $1 million question. Clearly, you're not happy with the end result this year. Do you feel like change is necessary? Do you want to ride this out? How you want to proceed? But 3 and 14 is definitely on the table. I could see a scenario in which we don't win another game this season. That is very plausible. We have games on the schedule that are winnable, right? The Giants, winnable. Miami, winnable. Minnesota, to a much lesser degree. Don't know what what Minnesota team we're going to see when we get there. If we see the one that we saw today against Detroit, no shot. But that's a family member. They probably not going to look like that every single week, but whatever. Like, it ain't too many more games after that, though. You're not beating Philadelphia. You're not beating Dallas. You're not beating the Lions. You're not beating Denver with this team. So you're definitely losing double-digit games this year. Definitely losing at least 10 games. Feels more like 12. Like, this is a 5 and 12 team. That's what it feels like. 5 and 12 gets you a top 10 pick. Probably gets you like the 8th or 9th pick in the draft. But, yeah. 3 and 14 gets you a top 5 pick. Not even get you a top 3 pick. So they got to decide how they want to proceed, right? Again, I see them moving with caution here. Like, I don't see them having a knee-jerk reaction. Tonight was rough, but I don't see them doing anything. Brian N., thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes, super tough season, Lou. We need to start the fire sale and tryouts for next year. Hopefully some coaches are on the hot seat. I don't see our young players being developed. Last year was so fun. Yeah. Again, nobody's safe. Everybody is in the line of sight for criticism. Nobody's above reproach, as I mentioned earlier. So at this point, we'll see. You know, we'll see how they move. But DQ said all the right things earlier this season. None of it has come to fruition. So now you start wondering, does some of this stuff fall on deaf ears? He said, we will not stay here. We not only are we staying in this state of utter disarray and confusion and losing, it's gotten worse now. And this team was not prepared tonight. Defensively. Offensively, I thought there was a chance. First of all, DQ, he bitched up on me tonight, though. He switched up the operation. We don't win the toss and elect to receive. That's not our move. We don't do that. He thought by accepting the football first and having a chance to take the lead that somehow we were going to get off to a faster start. How dare you, DQ? I thought you understood how the game go. This shit, like this winning the toss shit is like playing blackjack. These are the rules, bro. Yeah, it sucks having to hit on, it sucks. Depending on what cards are up for the dealer, it sucks having to hit on a 16. But, bro, you got to hit on 16 in this particular instance. Or you may have to stand on 16. It just depends, right? It sucks. But you got to do it. You gotta defer to the second half. Unless there's some sort of, like, I watched a game today where it was smarter to be in control of where you were kicking the football because of the wind. So you wanted to make sure you had control of that in the fourth quarter when the game could be on the line. Then you may have to alter some things that you do based off of weather conditions. Tonight was a great night for football. You ain't have to worry about none of that shit. You just thought, you know what? We're going to get off to a fast start. Let's put the offense on the field. Maybe you were trying to tell us before the game started, hey, the defense is ass and we can't stop Seattle. So the only chance for us to be in this game is to go down and score first, put some pressure on them. Well, it backfired. Last year was so much fun, but last year is last year. Last year is last year. Duncan Wright, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Our guy Duncan writes, please accept my apologies, you scrub. We appreciate it, man. We appreciate it. JC Blumquist, thank you for being a member for 17 months. Who writes, I just watched Dallas pull Dak at the end of the Denver game. Dak lives to fight another day. 5 does not. Just leaving this here. Yeah. Again, you can look at it whatever way you want. And there's no wrong answer to me. And so the people that say, why is he in the game? He had no business being in a 38-7 ass kicking halfway through the fourth quarter. Totally understand. To the people that say he need every rep he can get, you know, you still forget he hasn't been in the league that long. So, and he's missed games this season. You want to keep getting him more opportunities, especially with these guys that he's playing with. He need all the reps and he can get time on task with them. So, I get that point of view. No one wins here, man. No one wins here. CGM87, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, DQ said no discussion to take 5 out. He's losing me. That's the competitor mentality. Like, he's out there. Jayden wanted to be out there, you know, and sometimes as a coach, you got to make an executive decision based on what's in the best interest of the player, whether they want to do it or not. Jayden wanted to be out there. Jayden don't want to come out of the game. And so I'm pretty sure Jayden didn't want to come out of the game last year against Dallas in week 18, but he took his ass out anyway. We had bigger fish to fry. And so sometimes you just got to say, we'll get them next time. But that's not how they were approaching that. That's not how they were approaching that. Jayden needs all the reps he can get. There was no consideration for taking him out. I don't disagree. Again, I wasn't thinking. People were saying he should be out of the game. I wasn't necessarily disagreeing with that. If they took him out, I was like, cool. But I wasn't saying get him out of the game. That wasn't my stance. I just genuinely enjoy watching 5 play. So anytime I can watch, I'm with it. I'm with it. But DQ just doubled down on bullshit, is what he did. And I'm not mad at him for that. I ain't glad at him for that. Nyron, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes? The Commanders beat the Eagles and are heading to the Super Bowl to face Kansas City. I say that as they drag me back into my retirement home. Room. What it could have been. I feel like Shep on Above the Rim. Not Shep. Shit. What was Bernie Mac character? I forgot his goddamn name. I don't know why I always forget his goddamn name. I need to watch that movie. I ain't seen it in a while. But they can't erase what we were. They can't erase what we were. Oh my God. We down so bad right now. Jesus Christ. 6-7. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. 6-7. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes, I still trust AP and somewhat DQ, but not Cliff, Joe Witt Jr. If DQ doesn't fire Joe Witt Jr. this offseason, then DQ can go too. What was his name? Flip? I think his name was Flip. Flip for 200. Final answer. I don't. There's a chance that we could see changes this offseason. I don't think you see changes in season, but offseason, yeah, I could see some changes happening. I could see some changes happening in the offseason. I personally don't. I want Cliff back. I don't have a Cliff Kingsbury problem. The game plan Cliff put together tonight was a winning game plan with better players. You have Terry out on the field, Debo out on the field. This game plan tonight would have had a shot to work. Real football players out there. This would have had a chance to work. Joe Witt, on the other hand, I can't vouch for him. JD Sports Talk. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes? Amos can't be a bust like Latimore. Getting spooky. Amos is fine. He's fine. He fought through an injury tonight. He clearly wasn't right. And he's been good this season. I love the young fella, you know. JSN is like that. Let's just make sure we're clear on this. JSN is like that, okay? Just so we on the same page. He's doing this to everybody, okay? This is not like, now maybe he's not doing it in the first half of the game to everyone, but it's the same result. At the end of the game, you look up, he's got 150, 170, 130 yards receiving. He's doing this shit to everybody. When he crossed up Amos, he ain't the first person he crossed up, and it ain't the last person he crossed up at the line of scrimmage. He had some really good coverage on him on some plays, and it was just like, damn, how he still catch that shit? He's the least of our worries. He's the least of our worries. Commander Cole, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes, just a year ago today, I was sitting in the stands of MetLife watching our squad improve to 7-2 after a stellar Jayden performance. What happened, man? I seriously want to cry right now. I know, right? I was watching the Patriots today because, the Patriots are literally doing, like, they literally stole our playbook. Like, they're literally doing what we did last year. Like, they're winning all the close games. They went to Buffalo and won on a Sunday night. That was their Cincinnati game. And I'm literally watching them find ways to win with a new first-year head coach who's a second-time head coach, but he gets it. Defensive-minded, young quarterback, the whole 9 yards, you know, some veterans around him. And I'm like, they 7-2 right now. And I'm like, I remember when that was us. I literally watched that game today and said, you know, Drake May on a bootleg at the end to a wide open. I want to say it was Pop Douglas or somebody, one of the tight ends, I think it might have been, to seal the game on a third down. That was us last year, you know? And I just thought to myself, damn, life comes at you fast. Didn't think we'd be here, though. I'd be lying to you if I said that. I never thought we'd be here. I never thought I'd be having this conversation with you this soon, if anything. Greg, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Greg writes, ATL Media was adamant DQ loyalty was his downfall. And that's just who he is. That's his personality. So I'm not going to be shocked if he does nothing, because that's who he is. Like, he's not gonna jump ship and bail at the first sign of trouble. He's gonna try to fix it. And it may be the thing that gets him fired, right? It may be the thing that, because a lot of dudes that, you know, get fired, like, they're loyal to their staff because you uprooted your life to come work for me. You took your family, you brought them here, and I'm not going to just cast you aside when shit doesn't work. We got to figure this out together. Remember, you said doing hard shit with good people. This is hard shit. Like, in his mind, this is the definition of what we signed up for. Hard shit, good people. They got good people in that building. This is the hard shit. Now we got to figure it out. We'll see if they do or not. Double W, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double W writes, this loss, all things considered, felt worse than any loss I've ever seen. The last time a game started that badly was November 10th, 2010. He says, I think that's supposed to be, I know you know. Yeah. I talked about that already. But this is up there. Even as bad as that night was, the offense scored, if you remember, in that game. The offense scored points. We were just down so bad but that was 5 straight possessions of no incompletions, and you're not even close, bro. And you're not responding. You're not even showing a pulse. At least they showed a pulse in that game. You're not even showing a pulse in this game. We were dead, bro. We died on the operating room table. I mean, the shit went from bad to worse. You lose Luke McCaffrey. Now Jalen Lane has to return kicks. He fumbles. And it's like, are you kidding me right now? This was a bad loss, man. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. It's one of the worst. Third Eye One, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Somebody said doing bullshit with bad people. Chill. Third Eye says, Louie T, love your coverage, but 5 ain't him at this point of his career. JD has regressed to Bob 3 Snow Bunny status. Cliff and Whit need to go. Yeah, that's a terrible take, bro. That's a terrible take. If you think he's on par with Robert Griffin III, if you think he's Bobby 3 Sticks, we can't have a conversation, a real conversation. The two aren't the same. They look nothing alike. They don't conduct themselves in the same manner. They don't play the same. None of it is even remotely close to the other. But again, you are totally entitled to your opinion. Ethan Dykes, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. My guy, thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, this game meant everything to this season, and we didn't show up at all. At all, Ethan. The season was on the line, and we played our worst game of the season. Who do we blame for that? Who do we blame for that? This goes back to what I literally was just talking about not even 10 minutes ago. The simple fact that last year we were prepared, in most instances, over-prepared. It was a beautiful feeling. I never once felt like this team was not prepared for their opponent, didn't know what to expect, and we simply just didn't execute. Whether we turned it over, we had penalties, we had drops, whatever we did to harm ourselves in that game, it wasn't because we weren't prepared. It was a lack of execution last year. We haven't been prepared for the vast majority of this season. We have been outscored in the first half of football games a gajillion to like 10. We don't show up at the beginning of games. We find ourselves down by multiple scores in the second quarter, just about every single week, and nothing changes. Our best win of the season, we were down 10-0, on the verge of being down 17-0, and then we forced a turnover. So, yeah, we didn't show up at all tonight. That's the most frightening part of all of this. Jayden injury aside, is that you just said it. Your biggest game of the season, your season's on the line, and that's the effort you put forth. That's the product you put on the field. No more fight left. My heart is broken by Five's injury. Also, F. Quan Martin, man. Yeah, he stinks. I hate to say it, but he's basic. Quan Martin is basic. I won't say he stinks. You can find a lot worse safety play in the league. He's basic. You can find Quan Martin a dime a dozen. You can find so much better than Quan Martin out there. Evan, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Evan writes, hey, Louie, Giants fan. Hope Daniels is okay. Appreciate that, Evan. I felt the same way when Cam Scatterbo got hurt. Like, that shit sucks. You never want to see that for anybody. You never want to see that shit, man. I appreciate it, Evan. Ethan Dykes. Hey! Double up. Even doubling up, who writes, no reason for the season anymore, Louie. Damn, back to being bums. We have no choice but to be ultra aggressive in free agency this offseason. Hashtag hail. We got money. I mean, we got the means to do it. But as we've seen with Adam Peters, very frugal. Very frugal. Didn't want to give up what it was going to cost to get Kendrick Bourne. Very frugal. You can't convince me that Kendrick Bourne wouldn't have came here for the right price. There's nothing you can tell me. Don't know what the number was. Don't know what he was asking for. Don't even know what he signed for in San Francisco. I know the number's out there. It wasn't a whole hell of a lot of money. I know that much. I knew that they didn't feel like Olamide Zaccheaus was worth having back. He signed for a $1.5 million in Chicago, like chump change. They saw fit to not pay Dante Fowler Jr. Again, a lot of people didn't want him back after the NFC Championship game. I thought y'all was crazy for not wanting him back. Wasn't going to cost you a whole hell of a lot. Wasn't going to cost a whole hell of a lot to get. We saw the amount of money that, and again, there were guys that we thought we could do better than. OZ thought you could do better than him. De'Ami Brown thought you could do better than him. You know, Jeremy Chin thought you could do better than him. But these were guys that were a part of what we did last year. And not necessarily pieces that needed to be replaced. Upgraded, sure. And so they did that. They swung and they missed in just about every single instance. They swung and they missed. Like, the worst part is we don't even have a De'Ami Brown here, bro. We don't even have a De'Ami Brown here right now. That's crazy to say. It's De'Ami Brown. Like, what are we talking about? We don't even have that. We'll see what this offseason looks like. But We still got 8 more games of this shit, Ethan. You ready? You ready? We got 8 more games of this shit, bro. Ethan Dykes, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Ethan writes, we might not win another game this season now. That is on the table. I said that earlier. This is really like there's a chance we don't win another game this season. There's a real possibility we end up 3-14. I don't see it happening. I think we're more like 5-12, but there's a realistic scenario in which we don't win another game this season. Jeremiah, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes, what's up, Lou? What's up, Jeremiah? I was at the game till 5 went down. A dude in the row behind me literally said, you better not fumble. And Lane proceeded to do it. I can't believe how bad we are. This shit is depressing. Prayers up for 5. Yeah. You know, damaged fans, only damaged fans say shit like that. You better not fumble. That sounds like some shit I would say to the defense after we just scored a touchdown before halftime. When there's only 30-something seconds. You better not give up a touchdown. Said that against Dallas, what they do, give up a touchdown. Said that against Kansas City. They actually got to stop. But the fact that I even felt the need to say some shit like that means you've got scars. And Jalen Lane has presented us with scars. And the reopening of wounds, if you will. We're a mess right now. We're a mess. An abject disaster. Hype Girl Oracle. Remember the good old days, Hype Girl Oracle? Remember those days? Remember August? Great times. Feels like eons ago, doesn't it? Radical change brought about in the worst way, right after a long day. It's so painful to see. Endings force beginnings. Speak on it. Hang in there and breathe. Hang on and breathe. Indeed. That's what it means to be a fan. Heartbroken. Facts. Like, it sucks. But to Hype Girl Oracle's point, endings mean new beginnings. And I think in order for us to start anew, we had to let go of last year. Everything that we did, we somehow tried to connect it back to the magical carpet ride that was 2024. I know I'm guilty of the shit. Even down to tonight's game, you know? I told myself, after we had a 3-game losing streak last year, and remember when this happened, this is what we did. And, you know, this is how we snapped out of it. And, you know, you got to, like, 2024 was last year. We got to let that shit go. Clearly, we are not that team anymore. And I hated that it's got to be like this, but in order to remove 2024 from the equation and isolate this shit, it had to get bad. It had to get dark. So we can, like, unfortunately, and I said this before, I said it about Ron in 2020. Winning the way that we did last year was a gift and a curse. I was hoping it was more of a gift than it was a curse, but it was definitely a gift and a curse. What it did was it clouded a lot of our judgment. Some people saw right through the shit from last year and was like, bro, I wasn't oblivious to last year's. I literally did a video saying we can't count on these things this year, right? But in my mind, we would not only overcome the things we couldn't count on this year, we would be able to rise up another notch because of these things, right? So these things were going to counteract the things that were successful for us and help us either get back to or, you know, be better than we were last year. But I was aware of all of those things. I wasn't turning a blind eye to them. But what I did do was I overrated this roster. I knew we had holes. I knew we were old in certain spots, but I overrated this roster. And I told y'all this wasn't a great roster. But even saying that, I still, like, I said we could have the best secondary in the NFC. We got the best secondary in the NFC East. Cornerback position really is what I was talking about, not safety position. So ESPN says Jayden Daniels did in fact suffer a dislocated elbow. This just in. I'll read you the message that just came on my phone. This just in. Quarterback Jayden Daniels did in fact suffer a dislocated elbow. He is scheduled to undergo an MRI on Monday. So dislocated elbow is what I thought it was. I said that at the top of the show, but again, I didn't sleep at a Holiday Inn last night, so I'm no doctor. But he'll bounce back. He'll bounce back. We'll bounce back. We're a resilient bunch. I don't know if there's a more resilient fan base out there that exists than us. I mean that sincerely. We'll be all right. Thank you, Hype Girl Oracle. I need those good words of encouragement and those good vibes, that good juju. We need positivity right now. Ethan Dykes, been a member for 14 months. Right. At least the unis were clean as F. Need every game. They were clean as F, but they have their proper place. Every so often, you break them joints out, and it gives you the nostalgic feel. But like talking to people like Rio, it shits on the uniforms for me. Like all day, me and Rio were texting back and forth, like I told y'all. And I'm gonna tell you this text exchange between me and him. It was hilarious. So I saw after the 4 o'clock games all went off, the Chiefs Bills game, the Jags Raiders game went to overtime. I text him, bruh, F what you talking about, Rio. These classics are crispy. He responded, they clean. I said, y'all see these janks under the lights, man? Like, oh my God, they were just so beautiful to these eyes. They were so gorgeous. He's like, and plain, and we look good. So he was giving them a compliment. He still was shitting on them. Then he said this part, and I always remember him talking about this when he talked about these. We hold these uniforms in such high reverence. Those of us who have seen them win in some form of these uniforms hold it in high regard. But the people that didn't see us win, all they know is losing. They think like Rio does. And he said, we about to get spanked like old times in them. This is before the game, y'all. I said, oh, ye have little faith. That went downhill quickly. Man, oh man, that shit went sideways. And it's people like Rio who they don't know us winning in those uniforms. They don't give a shit. It's why you don't need to bring that uniform back on a permanent basis, like as our regular get up. Have it be special, like when the Broncos bring back the Orange Crush uniforms. It's clean and it just brings back that nostalgic look. But we got new uniforms now. It is what it is. You know, it was good to see him though. It really was. It was good to see him, and we didn't do him any justice tonight. We embarrassed ourselves in those uniforms. Just like Rio said, just like old times. And that's a shame. On Art Monk night. I mean, you can't get more disrespectful than the shit we did tonight. Corin Smith. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB who writes. Lou, Brian Flores in 26. What says you? Talking about the head coach? Nah. I mean, that shit did not go well in Miami. And I know he's grown from that experience, but I don't know if that's the road we trying to go down. Like, he came from that New England Patriot tree. Like, he's a dick. Now, again, he might have grown from that first situation, but I don't know if that's the right. And I don't even know, and I've said this before, I don't even know if I want a defensive head coach. I think I want an offensive-minded head coach so that Jayden don't have to do the, like, eventually they're going to do something if this doesn't work. And the next coach probably needs to be an offensive-minded head coach so that you don't have to worry about losing your coordinator and all of that shit. But anyway, I digress. Let's I'm open to anything though, but I don't think Flores is the right guy for the job. I don't, but we'll see. Let's get this quick ad read in here and come back and get to some more comments.
Sleeper is the best way to experience and connect over sports together. It's a one-stop shop for all your sports needs. You can celebrate and chat on games in real time with other users, get the fastest scores, blazing fast news and alerts right at your fingertips, play in fantasy leagues, and win real money on pick contests. So enjoy sports the way they were meant to, together. Download the #1 sports app today. Predict the hottest football stats like passing yards, receiving yards, touchdowns, interceptions, and much more to cash in on your daily fantasy football skills. Use promo code LTN and Sleeper will match your first deposit up to $100. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states. Check out Sleeper today. Sleeper.
All right, so hold on a second. Send this text message out real quick. Let's get back to the comment section. Derek B, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Derek B writes, I hate this for JD, but he needs to get as far away from this 2025 team as possible before DQ and AP end his career. I don't think you're wrong. That's why I said if there's any silver lining in all of this is that we can just sit him down, go ahead and IR Terry in his shit, and let's just start anew in 2026. Blank canvas, clean slate. Let's just start from scratch and let's build this shit the right way. So, like, the worst thing that could happen is that this would have happened in December, or this shit happened in January, and now it's leaking and bleeding into our off season. I mean, I don't know what the time frame is for a dislocated elbow and what the recovery process is for that. But let's just say it's 4 months. All right, we just started. Literally, this is the beginning of November, so we'll count this as a whole month. November, December, January, February. So by March, he will be ready to resume physical activities. Like if again, let's just say it's a 3 to 4 month, recovery rehab type of situation. It could be longer than that. I don't know how these things go, but if it's 4 months, even if it's 6 months. You extend it 2 more months into March and then April. He's ready to come back by the time we get into OTAs. So, again, I'd much rather this shit happen now than we get to January or December and then this shit happens and all of a sudden he ain't ready until training camp. I'd rather him be throwing and out there moving around and being around his teammates, et cetera, et cetera. So, we'll be all right. He's going to bounce back. But to your point, this season was going nowhere fast. And this, like, clearly, this was the team they were putting around him this year. It's going to put him in a dangerous spot. He had to run way too often tonight. Way too often. And again, I haven't watched the film to be able to say if guys are running open, but he's working certain concepts, certain sides of the field, etc. And clearly he didn't like what he saw, or else he would have cut it loose. And it just wasn't enough around him. Period. End of discussion. So I'm with you. They both need to get their shit together. I agree with that as well. Wrath of God. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, Lou, bruh, we said this season been over. I had hopium, bro. It's over now, though. We are such ass if Jayden didn't get hurt. This game, it would have been the next game of tired of dumb shit. The Lions game would have been worse than this game. Like now, if the Lions put up 50 and spank us, nobody cares. But had Jayden been a part of that spanking, you'd have felt some type of way because it was coming. You see this defense. There ain't nothing saving us from giving up 50 next week. Nothing. This defense is awful. Awful. B-Rad, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. B-Rad says, I saw all the Super Bowls. At least I got that. At least you got that. At least you know what it was like when the shit looked the way that it was supposed to look. When we were considered the gold standard in the NFL. At least you got to see that. Joe Rockhead, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Joe Rockhead writes, remember all the introductory press conferences, AP, DQ, Cliff Kingsbury, Joe Witt Jr., and all the position coaches? It all feels like false promises despite making sense at the time and justified last season. I feel lost. You feel like you're back at square one. This is what I said earlier, Joe Rockhead. You feel like you walked in a complete circle and you're back at the same spot you were in at the beginning. We literally did a 360. We're back in the same space. That's the part that's tough to stomach. But this is what I have to remind everyone of. While we feel like we're back in the same space, we are not. We are run by a better ownership group. I think our front office is competent despite what we feel right now. And we do have a star at quarterback. So we are in a different space. But it just feels eerily similar to years gone by that we felt this way. It just feels like it's the same. We've done the press conferences before. We all did the Eric Bieniemy press conference. We all fell for that shit, hook, line, and sinker, where he talked in circles, ain't say shit, used a bunch of cliches, then did the awkward smile. We fell for that shit. All of us did. We all felt like dumbasses. We might have got again. We might have got hoodwinked, bamboozled again. We'll see. It feels like a lot of that was a lot of hot air, but, you know, we'll see. Daily Grind. Been a member for 49 months. Celebrate! Who writes, sup, Lou? Sup, Daily Grind? Tonight was rough, yet expected. I wish I could say the same. I wasn't expecting this. I wish I could say the same. I wish I could see this ass whooping coming. I saw it coming last week against the Chiefs. I prepared myself for that. I ain't see this shit coming, bro. I really thought we could win this game. I knew it was going to be tough, and I knew it wasn't, you know, like we were going to have to play a lot better than we have been playing, but I thought it was doable. They gave us false hope in that first half last week against Kansas City. And I remember telling y'all, hey, y'all do realize that we never actually really stopped them. We just forced turnovers. Well, I'm like, shit, just do that again. I was about to say something really crazy. Really? You really thought we were gonna force some turnovers tonight? We forced one. What did he do? When did that one come? When we were down 31-7, I believe it was. Yay. Help me understand how we let players go like Fadarian Mathis, John Ridgeway. At least Captain Insano got to the QB. He might have got flagged, but yet he put fear in the quarterback. So what we can't do is act like those guys were world beaters. But to your point, like I had an issue with cutting Fadarian Mathis when you were out here. You know, you know where I'm about to go with this. I'm not even going to do it because I do the same shit every time, man. I'm tired of talking about this, and y'all tired of hearing me talk about this. But that was my problem. Like, you cutting dudes like we got it like that. You traded John Ridgeway. I don't got no issues with you trading John Ridgeway. You got draft capital for it. You flipped that draft capital to do something else. But it is what it is. Like, they cleaned house when they got here. So at the end of the day, they did what they felt like was right for the roster. Again, when new people come in here, they don't care about the players that others collected. If they think that guy can fit in what they're doing, they'll keep him. But if not, they look at him as dead weight, and they shed that dead weight very quickly. And we saw that last year. So, Wrath of God. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes? I am so grateful for last year, but in the long run, it would have been better if our season was ass, because we wouldn't have made all the trades, free agent moves, better season. We could have been building from the draft. Yeah, no, that is 100% accurate. That's why I said last year was a gift and a curse. It was the gift that kept on giving because it gave us joy unlike any other. Like last season, it did a lot. Last season birthed the Commanders Kings. Last season gave us tremendous joy. Last season gave us Jayden Daniels. Last season gave us the Washington walk-off, a.k.a. Bear Trap, a.k.a. Noah's Ark. Last season gave us so many new core memories. But it also expedited a process that didn't need to be sped up. We've seen this before. We saw it in 2020 with Ron Rivera, where you win the division at 7-9, and all of a sudden you feel like you got to go out here and make some moves because you got to build off of a 7-9 season where you won the division. Your ass. Just build the roster. Don't worry about trying to win something. You stink. You came in here and told us it was a 3-4 year, to change a culture, whatever. So don't try to change it now in 1 year because you won 7 games and won your division. But same shit. This one's a lot different, though, because that team was ass. This team actually won 12 games in the regular season, won 2 playoff games, and went to the NFC Championship game. So it was valid that you try and go out and maybe push yourself over the finish line with a few more veterans. That's valid. But it also was false hope. And it was also a mirage. It wasn't real. And we weren't close. Again, I'll say this until I got no more breath left in my body. I just wanted a chance to see what it looked like us healthy. I know there's no such thing as full health, but semi-healthy. Like, I take semi-healthy. Bro, we are so banged up. Like, the 49ers are the only other team that could have more injuries than us. I seriously doubt there's another team that has lost more games to injury that have more impactful injuries than we have had this season. Only the 49ers. They lost their first-round pick, Michael Williams, for the season. I think that's what I heard today against the Giants. Another, injury and another ACL snatched by the MetLife turf. But whatever. The 49ers are the only other team that I could think of that has as many injuries as us. It's a lot of teams that are super banged up. Not like us, though. And the hits just keep coming. Obviously, Jayden tonight, Luke McCaffrey, Marshawn Latimore, Eddie Goldman left with a concussion. Like, I mean, you can't make this shit up, bro. Trey Amos had a hip. I think he had a hip at one point. Came back in the game. Like, bro, Quan re-injured his shoulder again. We the walk it wounded, man. You're absolutely spot on, Wrath of God. Last year's run expedited a process that didn't need to be sped up. We needed to take our time and build this thing the right way. And instead, we tried to cut corners and have shortcuts. And this is what it gets you. I'd do it again in a heartbeat, though. I'm not going to sit here and have revisionist history. Give me 2024 all over again. And let me try and build off of that instead of the alternative. So it is what it is. It is what it is. Big Money Sonny, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB, who writes, Lou, this one hurts, man. Yeah. Yeah, it does. A lot. Big X 420. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Who writes, my guy Lou, irresponsible, malpractice to have 5 out there anyway. Again, you're not wrong. Trade anyone who will bring draft picks for the future. Rebuild this brotherhood literally from the ground up. F the old guys, AP. I'm not against it. Again, here's the problem. Don't have many guys that hold value around the league. I know you've been reading them articles just like I've been reading them. You've been seeing the excerpts just like I've been seeing them. So it ain't a lot of that going on. But nobody, like, again, everybody's on the block. If you're a Commanders fan, they should be. Everybody's on the block. Problem is, ain't nobody trying to give you shit for what you got. And you can't just take anything. We not having a yard sale. You can't just be giving away shit. So it sucks because, again, we want so much draft capital and we just don't have it. But we going to build this thing up. Don't y'all worry. It takes time. It takes time. It takes time. DGM Media. Been a member for 3 months. Really, truly do appreciate you. Who writes, revisiting Nats World Series run to keep myself from sobbing. Like I told y'all, if I didn't win on Sleeper tonight, I don't know how I would have got through this. I was just upset because of how the game went. We were down 21-0, and I'm checking my phone like every 2 seconds. And then finally, I just put it away like it's gonna be what it's gonna be. And I just was expecting to lose. And I was like, man, I don't know how I'm a cope if I don't pull this shit out. Rio had sent the text earlier, like this morning, like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock this morning. He was like, let's get this win, fellas, and hopefully, we all win some money on our, individual picks or whatever, so that if the team let us down, at least we got some money to show for it. And that happened for me. And I needed it. I needed to win. I needed to win somewhere, somehow, some way. I needed to win. But my Grizzlies jaw looked like he gonna end up getting traded. Like nothing's going well for me in my sports life right now. Nothing. I got Duke Blue Devils basketball. We look like we might have a squad this year, but we look like we got a squad every year, right? Something always seems to go awry. But yeah, I'm down bad, bro. Like I told y'all, none of them shits mean more to me than this right here. None of them. None of them mean more to me than this. I'm down pretty bad right now. King Happy Day Productions. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. All right. Washington, D.C. has not won a game since government shut down and will not win until Washington, D.C. reopens the government. Somebody said that in the mob. Somebody said something to the effect of, I didn't know that the government shutdown meant that we were shut down. And all I could do was laugh to stop from crying. But so true. So true. Maybe that's why all of this bad shit is happening. Because I can't make sense of why this cloud came back with a vengeance, bro. Like the shit that's happening to us, this is some Dan Snyder era shit if I've ever seen it. And this is like, it's on one. Like it's amplified. Like it's back with a vengeance. And this shit is risen from the ashes like a phoenix to come and get us. And I'm like, what could it be? Maybe it's because of what's going on in DC. Maybe. My thing is, why we got to get the remnants of that shit? Why we got to get roped into they bullshit? We ain't got nothing to do with that. Let us have our shit in peace. We ain't done nothing to nobody, and them boys done came out and got us. Shadow Striker 789. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes? Oh my God, my entire Instagram feed full of this shit. 2-hour drive to and from stadium from UNI. Skipping early morning class tomorrow. I'm taking mental health break. Per Schefter, JD dislocated elbow. I just read that too. Shadow Striker. Hey, let me just tell y'all, them mental health days are real. Take them shits if you need it. You know, when I was growing up, that wasn't a thing. But shout out to my wife. Shout out to one of my best friends. They've shown me that mental health shit is real. So if you know I need one, take one. Take one. Like, we care about this shit a lot, man. Like, I don't think sometimes players and the coaching staff, I don't think, like, I know they understand how much it means to them. They put in the blood, sweat, and tears. They put in the work, the late hours, the early mornings. We get it, but we put in them hours too. We put in this work too. This shit matters to us too. We don't just invest money. We invest time, energy, resources. We care about this shit, bro. This shit affects us mentally, for real. Like I told you, I'm gonna get off this stream. I'm gonna sit my black ass down on my couch and I'm gonna just reflect. Get my life together. And then I'm gonna turn on Bob Ross. He's gonna calm me down and I'm gonna go to sleep. And I'm gonna wake up tomorrow feeling better about this shit with a clear head, but still feeling like, how did we get here? Take that day, bro. Take that day if you need it, Shadow Striker. Real shit. Take that day, bro. Big Money Sonny. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes? I'm the idiot that was so pissed off that I wanted 5 to stay in the game and earn his licks. Yeah, I was dead wrong, Lou. The whole team is messed up. Again, you're not wrong for feeling that way. You're not wrong. And you're not the only person that was like, he shouldn't have come out the game. Again, hindsight is 20/20. Now you feel some type of way about that decision, but you didn't in the moment. Like I said, in the moment, I didn't care either way. If they would have snatched him out of the game to start the fourth quarter, I'd have been like, cool, bro, this shit over with. You don't need to be out there. And if they kept him in, which they did, I'm like, cool. I'm still trying to win my ticket. I'm like, hey, I got you for 2 touchdown passes, 1 to Ertz, 1 to Debo. Let's still see if we can get this shit popping off. You know, I'm all over the place, right? I told you my mind was just all over the place, you know? So you weren't wrong in feeling like, nah, stay out there. Everybody had opinions. Nobody's wrong. Nobody's wrong. It's easy to say that the people that felt like he should stay in the game were wrong because of what happened, but It's football. Shit happens. Like I said, that could have happened next week against the Lions with 8 minutes and 12 seconds left in the first quarter. Then what? Like, if it's going to happen, it's going to happen. Could have been avoided. Like, if you, like, the only way I would feel some type of way is if you tell me, and there's no way for this to happen, right? This is just a hypothetical. But you tell me, if he'd have come out the game, he was never going to injure his arm. Like, he wasn't injuring it next week or the week after that, or like, he was never going to do that. It was only because he was in this game, in that situation. He'd be like, man, what was he doing out there then? But we don't know that. We'll never know that. So, anyway. Donovan Gregory, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Donovan writes, what's up, Lou? What's up, Donovan? From what I watch most of the time, the defense doesn't disguise what coverage they're in. What you see is what you get. Yep. That's how I feel about Joe Witt's defense. Like, you don't have to guess who's coming on the blitz, like who's rushing. You see guys lined up across the line of scrimmage. Most likely, they all coming. And by alignment, like, I'll give you a great example, right? The third down play to Kenneth Walker. We came with an all-out pressure. Quan Martin is lined up 50 yards away from the line of scrimmage, and he's in man-to-man coverage with Kenneth Walker, the third, out of the backfield. Sam Darnold, first of all, they saw where the pressure was coming, so he could identify where the pressure was coming from, who need to block who. They could get all the protection set so that when they blitz, nobody's coming scot-free. He's got time to allow K9 to come out of the backfield, run an arrow route, a Texas route, and hit him before Quan could do anything about it. Because like you said, what you see is what you get. Frankie's lined up out here. Bobby's lined up out here. Frankie's out here in the C gap, CD gap. Bobby's right here in the A gap. And you see where everybody was lined up at. And you can see it was cover zero, one-on-one, everywhere. Same thing with the Jackson Smith and Jigba pass interference, or excuse me, the touchdown to, I want to say it was the tight end up the seam. So Arroyo, that's the play that JSN broke off Trey Amos and was wide ass open. Like, they saw that it was man-to-man across the board. What you see is what you get. Like, we don't disguise shit. You perfectly spot on, Donovan. King of the North, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. King of the North, right. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. Third straight loss of 21 points or more, Lou. Last time Washington has done that was 2001. This is very bad. And this is why I said that we were going to find out the real test of the brotherhood. Like, if what DQ is saying is really getting through, and he really, like last week, I felt like I saw a pulse, which is why I told you I needed proof of life. They showed me that in the first half. There was no life. We showed up to this game as a corpse. We were Bernie, dressed up in the championship era uniforms with sunglasses on. We were Bernie. We were dead when we showed up tonight. There was no proof of life. All we were doing was identifying a body at the morgue tonight. Yeah, that's him. That's the season right there. You can close it up. Don't shed no tears. For some of y'all, this shit was over 2-3 weeks ago. For me, my season died tonight. You know how I am when it's finally like officially over. I need time to process that. So I need some time. Like I said, I'm gonna take that time when I get off this stream. But it didn't really hit me like it normally hit me because Jayden got hurt. So all my attention went to that. Had Jayden stayed healthy tonight, I would have convinced myself, because I'm a lunatic. I told y'all, I'm crazy. I'm batshit crazy when it comes to this team. And I'm a constant optimist. So what I would have told y'all tomorrow was, hey, look, we still got a chance. We 3-6. I told you we just needed to win one out of the next three. We still can technically do that. And I told y'all last week, kind of set the stage for this. I said, personally, if I had to pick which one I would win, it would be Detroit, because you want to take that momentum and parlay that into a win streak, right? What you didn't want to do was beat Seattle, then get your brains bashed in by Detroit, and then have to beat Miami, but you just wanted to get the win out of the way. So if that's what it took to just say, I got the win, let me just get Seattle. But I would have came and I would have tried to convince you this week, hey, look, highly unlikely. I don't see this shit happening. This feels like we finna get our damn backs kicked in. However, if we beat Detroit, you're right back on track. But like you just said, King of the North, we just lost our third straight game by more than 3 scores. And unlike the Kansas City game that it got away from us late, but you were hyper competitive in that game. You had your chances in that game. You were never really in the Dallas game. Although I shouldn't say that you had a lead in the first quarter. But that game didn't go the way that it was supposed to go. But even still, the touchdown and then the Cowboys scoring right before that, even with all that shit, you still had Jayden. You still felt like you had a shot in the second half. You never stood it. From the time DQ won the toss and elected to receive, we were dead on arrival. DOA. Dead, I tell you. You start doing shit out of character, looking for a spark, not an adjustment. Not an adjustment. But you start changing who you are, your identity, chasing after a spark. Oh, we dead. DQ has always been a defer guy. And when he won the toss, when Mike Tirico said, watch, and even Mike Tirico said that shit kind of with a sarcastic like tone, like not even a sarcastic, a confused, surprised tone. Like, Washington has won the toss and they've elected to receive, because that ain't what we do. This is very bad, King of the North. This is very, very bad. This is very, very bad. Yoshi, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. My guy Yoshi writes, Lou, when I saw that injury, I wasn't even surprised. Just felt despair. But the thing that really ticks me off is that we're not even going to fire Witt. He's going to have a fluke game and stay one more year. I hate this team. I don't know who that fluke game comes against. I really don't. Every team left on the schedule is offensively competent. Every single one of them. There's no Cleveland on the schedule. There's no team that you look at and say, man, their offense is horrible. Every single team has the capability of scoring some points. Now, there's varying degrees of that, obviously, but when it's all said and done, we could literally end up 3-14. I think, again, I think it's 5-12. But I think there's a chance Witt is either reallocated or he's no longer here next year. There's a chance. But I would say that the chance of him being back is greater than that of him being gone. I will say that. So. I hate where we're at right now. I hate this whole situation. I hate everything about this season. I just want it to be over. Really, like, it's literally a nightmare, and I just want to wake up. I just want to wake up. Brendan Crespin, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Brendan writes, my friends are calling me crazy for being so stoic yet depressed with the season and Jayden's injury. And I'm like, I'm used to it. That is sad. You're jaded, bro. You're jaded. You've seen this so many times that you've become desensitized to it. Like, I was at I took my kids trick-or-treating. It's a quick story. And this is the type of shit that bothers me. Because I engage in conversations with people who aren't really football fans. If they like people that, I rock with. And so I rock with somebody that rock with somebody that rock with somebody. So we having a conversation and it ventures into football. And I'm like, this is dangerous territory. You really don't want to be having this conversation with these people. Like, these aren't football people. But I engage because they're good people. Normally, I'm not engaging in these types of conversations and activities because this is not where I want to be. I can't operate in this type of environment. But we talking, and he's like, yo, Jayden Daniels gonna be another RG3. And soon as that's a trigger for me. All right. That's a trigger for me. Soon as I hear that, I'm gone. I don't got nothing else for you. I'm out. I don't even got any words for you. That's my cue to exit stage left. So he says that, and I want to leave, but it's nowhere for me to go. Like, we in the backyard, we about to go trick-or-treating. Like, there's nowhere to go. So I'm like, nah. And he's telling me that he's this and he's that. And this is not that. This is not Robert Griffin III. But these are the things that I'm going to have to put up with now. Like, the next time I see him, what I tell you? And I'm not engaging, but I can't deny it. I can't say anything, right? He got hurt again. What am I supposed to say? Like my dad, I know when I see him, I told you his ass gonna get hurt because, and I'm like, I don't want to hear that shit. I don't want to hear it because, like, it's not the same thing. Dudes get hurt all the time. It's football. Like, this don't have nothing to do with Jayden being 200 pounds. This ain't got nothing to do with his frame or being frail. Like, it's football. Joe Burrow get hurt almost every other year. Why? Because it's football. Shit happens. Some guys are more prone to getting injured than others, but I'm just not willing to put that on my quarterback. I'm just not. But this was the knock on him coming out of college. Like, this was the thing that people feared. Now I have to listen to people try to tell me that this is a thing. I am not trying to hear that shit. But I got to listen. Or at least I got to hear the shit. I don't got to listen. But I got to hear the shit now. So when you say you were stoic, depressed, it's because you've been here before. I was talking to Rio and the Kings like, yo, we've been here before, bro. This shit sucks, but if anybody has a PhD on how to deal with this type of bullshit, it's us. We got all kinds of certs and degrees to deal with this type of shit because we've done it on so many levels. We done seen it all, done it all. Ab, been a member for 49 months. Celebrate. My guy Ab writes, my man Lou, what's up, Ab? Tough to know there are slim to none chances to win another game with what we saw and with the players we have left tonight. But I'll be at the Madrid game repping as always, hoping for the best. Well, you picked a great game to go to because I was telling somebody this. I don't remember who it was or how long ago it was. It had to be the last game you went to. It was like the week or two after that. Because I think it was my guy, King of the North, who is another person that when he talks, I listen. King of the North usually has a great sense about things. Like, he's like, yo, I got a bad feeling about this. And usually we lose. And when he's like, yo, Louie, I got a great feeling about this, we usually win. So it's him and it is you. But you're like, I always call y'all my agents. I send y'all to different sites with a mission. You're my best agent. You're the one person that I know if I send you to a game, you're going to extract that dub and bring it back. Like I said, the next person on the next step down is King of the North. When he say shit like before a game, I'm like, that's a good omen. He said something about the Dallas game. He's like, yo, I got a good feeling about this. I was like, we gonna see. I don't, but we gonna see. He was wrong. But every time you go to a damn game, I don't know how, but we win. You picked a good one because this is one of the last few opportunities we got to win this season. Now, we can't stop Devin Achane. We can't stop Jalen Waddle. If those two are healthy and two is on his best behavior, I don't see how we win that game. But if you there, I'm confident that that's a win because you always hold us down. So shout out to you, Ab. And I hate this for you. I hate this for the people that bought tickets to that Madrid game. This is why I don't do shit like this in advance. Because you can't know what you signing up for. And you blindly buy tickets for a game. Like that's the same thing in the NBA. Like I want to buy Memphis Grizzlies tickets for when they come to play the Wizards. But I can't do it in advance, not knowing if Ja's gonna be hurt. Because I don't want to come to a game and it's Cam Spencer and it's Vince Williams Jr. out there playing a bunch of men. I don't want to see that shit. Could watch that from my house. I want to come out. I want to see Ja Morant, Jaren Jackson Jr. I want to see Cedric Coward. I want to see all of the guys that I want to see. And if I purchase these tickets well in advance and then we get to the game and Ja out, Trip out, Said out, I'm going to be pissed off. I got these tickets. What am I going to do with them? And everybody bought their tickets and now Jayden hurt. You ain't even going to get to C5. That's some bullshit. But it is, I mean, that's the nature of the beast. That's the nature of the beast. Really appreciate you as always, Ab. Dante, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Dante writes, see a lot of people talking about the uniforms tonight. How many games did we win in the black uniforms? Again, this is the thing about uniforms. People love to make a big deal out of the name and the uniforms. And again, that name died. The day that they took that name from us and told us we couldn't go back to it, it died in my mind. I knew it wasn't coming back, so I wasn't going to keep dwelling over it. The uniforms, same thing. A piece of that was brought back tonight that I didn't think we was ever going to get back because I didn't know if they were ever going to bring these uniforms back. So to see them, very nostalgic, beautiful to these eyes. But at the end of the day, the part that hurts me is that there's a sector of the fan base that only knows losing. See, they doing this for people like, I forgot the name of the person that super chatted that said, I saw all the Super Bowls. I saw all the Super Bowls. Let me see if I can find his name real quick. Let's see. I think it was Greg. I can't find it. I think I went too far. Yeah, I went way too far. I think it was Greg. But somebody was like, I seen all the Super Bowls, bro. The jerseys that they brought back, B-Rad. It was B-Rad. I found it. B-Rad said, I seen all the Super Bowls. These jerseys were brought back for people like B-Rad, who knows what they represent. I caught the tail end of that, so they mean something to me too. But for people like Rio and others who came along a lot later, who saw those uniforms and they're synonymous with losing, it don't hit the same for them. And that shit hurts me. But It's everybody's reality is different. So I don't really, the uniform thing, I like to look good, look good, feel good, play good, all that good stuff. You know how to, the old saying. But ultimately, I like the Berg on Bergs. We'll never win in them shits. Matter of fact, most of the time we get our asses whooped in them. But then last year we won in them shits. Last year was just different. It was just an outlier. Like we defied all the odds. It didn't matter what it was. Because we put the Bergs on Bergs again this year, and we went right back to getting our asses whooped. Went to Dallas, put the Bergs on Bergs. Them shits clean to me. I don't give a damn what nobody say. But we can't win in them shits. And Rio, in his mind, these classic shits, they cool, but we always get our ass whooped in these shits. We stay getting belt the ass back in the day. And what happened tonight? Chris G. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Chris G writes, was watching Rio live when I heard you say it. Shaking my damn head. I thought Rio was bullshitting when he said it. I thought he was bullshitting. And y'all know me. I don't play with injuries. That shit is not funny. It's not a joke. I don't care who it is. It could be my worst enemy. The team I hate the most. I don't play with injuries. That ain't a part of the game that I get down with. Don't want to see nobody get hurt. So when he says something like, yo, JD just broke his fucking arm. They just broke the GOAT arm. And I thought he was playing. And then I looked at because I'm watching my TV. I hear him. I'm watching my TV. And I look down at my phone and I see him slumped in his chair. He takes the headset off, throws them shits. And I look back at my TV and I'm watching him play now because I'm like, he's not bullshitting. And I see the play and what the? I gotta go, man. Rio, I gotta go, bro. I can't do this shit. I get off and I'm just sitting there, bro. I'm numb. I'm just disoriented for a second. Like somebody just let off a flashbang or some shit. And I'm just kind of staring around and I don't know what to do. My legs are numb. Almost like I was paralyzed for a second. And I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to be. Do I pick up my phone right now? Why do I need my phone? Do I type to the mob? What is the mob saying? Do I need to start getting ready? I don't even want to do none of this shit. I want to do Bleacher Report. I want to do nothing. I just want to sit here. And that's what I did. I sat there for another 10, 15 minutes. And then I was like, bro, you got to get up. Legs, wake up. We got to move, bro. We got shit to do. It was surreal. But I'm a firm believer in everything happens for a reason. Don't ask me why the hell this. I think this needed to happen, like Derek B said, to just get him away from this 2025 roster because this shit is a mess. But you don't want to see this shit happen, period. End of discussion. I'd rather watch him struggle with this 2025 group all year long than to see this shit happen. But if it was going to happen sooner rather than later. But I hate it either way. This shit is for the birds. Ebad Shamim, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Writes, how to get younger and talented with lack of picks? There's still free agency. There's still other teams' practice squads. And, that's what you're going to have to do. You got to be shrewd about it. Technically, if Trey Burks or Drake Jackson work out for them, that's young talent. Former second-round pick in Drake Jackson just a few years ago. Former first-round pick in Treylon Burks, 4 years ago or so. So That 25 for him, and I think Drake Jackson somewhere in that neighborhood too. So, you know, that's how you get younger, right? Finding some diamonds in the rough, hitting people's practice squads, you know, guys that are talented but just weren't talented enough to crack that team's roster, that sort of thing. Then there's free agency, like you did with Javon Kinlaw. That's a 27-year-old. Frankie Louvu, he was 27 when you signed him. Like, find some of those guys. Like, there's ways, but the most effective and efficient way to do it is through the draft. It's cheaper, players are younger, and they're under contract for longer. So 6-7. Thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. 6-7. Double up. Thank you for doubling up. Who writes? Lions are gonna be like Cobra Kai. They won't ease up. Oh, they are showing us absolutely no mercy. None whatsoever. This. I was telling Rio, because he was like, and we getting a pissed off Lions team. This was before the game even started tonight. And I was like, bro, it don't matter what happened tonight. They was gonna bust our shit to the white meat show anyway. There wasn't nothing that could save us for the ass whooping that they was gonna dish out to us. I've seen what they've done when they got revenge on the brain. After tonight, it don't even matter now. It don't even matter now. Abduran, my guy Abner, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Thank you for being a member of the MOBB. My guy Ab writes, around half the roster should go next season, and given the few picks we have each draft, it's safe to say building a young competitive roster with respectable depth will take a while. For 2030, a new stadium season maybe? So I've told y'all this. If you want what Philadelphia has, San Francisco has, Green Bay has, Detroit has, that happens over an accumulation of years. That doesn't happen in 1 or 2 years or 3 years. You got to get a bunch of drafts under your belt. You got to get a bunch of free agency classes under your belt. You have to be able to establish who these players are, develop these players in your system and create the culture with those players, build a foundation with those players. That's what you have to do. And we're starting out in this. But the thing you have to do is you got to hit on these picks. And we're not sure that Adam Peters has done that. Like, Detroit don't work if you don't hit on Amon-Ra St. Brown, if you don't hit on Penei Sewell. Like, Detroit don't work. If you don't hit on Jamison Williams, that shit. You don't hit on Jahmyr Gibbs. You don't hit on Jack Campbell. You don't hit on what's the damn tight end name? Shit, why I can't think of his name. Sam Laporta. You don't hit on Brian Branch. None of this shit works. You know how many dudes I just named? These are all draft picks by the Detroit Lions over the last 5 years. That's how you get good. You got to not only have the draft capital, you got to hit on that shit. They had all these second-round picks, and you see what they turned them into? Sam Laporta, Brian Branch, and guys like that. You got to hit. They just took Tate Ratledge last year out of Georgia. They hit again. They traded up to get Jahmyr Gibbs. They took Jack Campbell in the first round. These are all first-round picks. Penei Sewell. They hit on all of them. You can't be missing in the early rounds. That's how you build. And right now, the only guy we could definitively say we hit on in either one of the two drafts is Jayden Daniels. That's the only guy right now we can definitively, without a doubt, say we hit on. I think there's some other guys in there that are good. I think Trey Amos is really good. I still believe Bill has a chance to be really good. But I still think Jordan McGee has a chance to be really good. But when you look at the totality of 2 whole drafts, 9 players in the first one, 5 in the next one, That averages out. In an average NFL draft, every team is supposed to have 7 picks. So over 2 seasons, 2 drafts, we have 14 players. That averages out to a normal amount of players that you're supposed to acquire in 2 drafts. How many of those 14 players you look at and say, okay, these are core guys? We hit on these dudes. That's the problem. Now, again, still plenty of time for some of these dudes to develop, get better. The light bulb come on at a different time for every player in the NFL. Not everybody's going to jump out of the packaging straight into the league and be like, yo, this shit easy. For Johnny Newton, next year might be the year he explode and Johnny Newton have 8.5 sacks. And be like, yo, where the hell did this Johnny come from? Who knows? Ben Sinnott might finally get the opportunity to show he's more than just a blocking, H-back move type blocker. He can actually catch the ball and be an effective route runner, et cetera, et cetera. He might be able to show that with Ertz out of the way next year. Who knows? Right now, doesn't feel like it. Doesn't feel like it. So how long is it going to take to build that young competitive roster that we're all looking for? I'd say another 2 years. By that time, when Jayden's looking for his extension, you need to have built a good enough roster to compete at that point. Like really compete. HTTR Carson, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. HTTR Carson writes, on a more positive note, how about World Series Game 7? It was quite a doozy. I mean, that whole series was excellent, to be honest with you, but Game 7 was stupid. It was off the charts good. Jordan Major, thank you for the super chat. Greatly appreciate you. Jordan writes, when I seen 50 Cent was at the game, I knew some F shit was going to happen. Why was his non-fan ass a headline? Shaking my head. I mean, because he's a celeb. Without, he's got a deal with like some alcohol, some spirits or something that the team that sponsors the team. So they're in, bed with one another. So he probably was just checking on his investment coming through to a game. This was a Sunday night game, a lot going on here. So he probably just, let me pop up. He did. And yeah, shit went sideways. I remember when Jay-Z came to one of the games, the shit was horrible. So maybe that's another thing. When you see dudes that don't belong at our games, that don't normally be at our games, some shit is about to go horribly wrong for the good guys. Maybe that's the thing. Anyway, I digress. That's the last super chat. Well, we back at square one, y'all. Feel like that Brian McKnight song. We start back at 1. Season's officially done. For those of you who are hanging on, no more hopium is now copium. We got to deal with the stress and the strain of the season. Tonight has brought back a lot of PTSD for so many people. And a lot of those scars that we're healing, those wounds have been reopened, and a lot of damage done tonight to DQ and his staff. Like some irreparable damage has been done. For some, for many, it's not irreparable, but it's some serious damage. All of the goodwill that they built up last year, gone. Damn shame too. I still have confidence in the front office, and I still believe in DQ and the staff, but my confidence has been shaken. It is wavering. But it is what it is. We await more information on Jayden, timetable, all that good stuff. We'll find out more information as it comes out. More likely than not, we'll get some tomorrow because that's a big deal. Jayden's a big deal. We'll start to hear timelines, some numbers thrown out here once the MRI results come back and we get some more clarification on it. But now we start life after Jayden this season. We officially start that now. And the first thing that needs to be explored is you got a trade deadline in 48 hours. See if it's anything you can get out of this shit. If you can get some picks and you can shed off some dudes, do it. Do it. This shit is over. We're done. So there's no reason to hold on to dudes that you have no interest in re-upping with after the season. If Debo's not a part of our long-term plans, get something for him. Who gives a shit who Marcus Mariota is throwing the football to? We don't give a shit. I don't give a shit. You don't give a shit. If we can get our 5th-round pick back for Debo, trade him. If you can get a 4th-round pick for Daron Payne, trade him. We don't currently have a 4th-round pick. Trade him. Who's to say that all of these dudes that leave in the offseason are going to net you compensatory picks? They may. They may not, depending on how we spend in the offseason. And by the way, you're not getting those picks in 2026. You would be getting those picks in 2027. Who's interested in that shit? So you can get a 4th round for Daron. Get it. And any other players that any other team out there may be interested in, a Noah Igbenogany, you get a 7th round pick for him, get a 7th round pick for Noah Igbenogany, damn it. You can get a 6th round pick for Marshawn Latimore, get a 6th round pick for him. I don't think anybody's giving you a damn thing for him, but doesn't hurt to ask. Doesn't hurt to ask. That's where we at now. This shit is over with. Anyway, I digress. That's going to do it for me, your man Louie T, here on Sunday Night Football Overtime. Commanders get their backs kicked in 38-14 by the Seattle Seahawks. Impressive performance by the Seahawks, but more damaging to the Commanders than anything else. This one hurts. This one, for a fan base that was already damaged, scarred, and trying to overcome its past, this was the worst case scenario. This was the worst possible outcome. We were triggered tonight. Doesn't feel good at all. But I digress. Y'all go ahead, get some rest, man. We'll talk more tomorrow for those of you who have a strong enough stomach. I know some of y'all, this is it for y'all for the season. I'll see y'all next year sometime. And that's cool too, man. Like, well, I talked, earlier, Shadow Striker was like, I need a mental health day. You got to do what's right for your mental health. And if putting this team on the shelf for 2-3 months at a time is what you need for your mental health, by all means, do that. I'll be here when you come back, like I always am. So anyway, y'all take care. Have a good one. God bless. Good night.